Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics center Neemias Queta had the best night of his NBA career yesterday evening and led the Celtics to a home win over Philadelphia, 114-98. Queta had a double-double in the first half. He finished with 27 points and 17 rebounds.
I had a couple sit downs with Joe, a couple of the coaches, and they instilled a lot of confidence in me for the year, and a lot of hard coaching too. So I embrace it. I'm just trying to get better, and I'm only at the tip of the iceberg.
Jaylen Brown added 27 points as well. Celtics play again tonight in Milwaukee. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Bruins off until tomorrow night. They'll play Pittsburgh at TD Garden. The NHL trade deadline is on Friday. The LA Kings have fired their head coach Jim Hiller after 2 seasons. Red Sox now 5-4 in preseason play after an 8-7 home loss to Baltimore and Fort Myers yesterday. Rangers Suarez allowed 1 run in 3 innings, and Wilson Contreras hit an early 3-run homer for the Sox in the loss. They visit Toronto and Dunedin, Florida today, and one of the top prospects in the organization, shortstop Franklin Arias, is expected to play. Former Sox outfielder Alex Verdugo yesterday signed a minor league contract with San Diego, and the NFL scouting combine wound down yesterday in Indianapolis. ESPN is reporting that although they're asking for a lot more, the feeling around the league is that a second-round draft pick will ultimately be the right price in a trade for Philadelphia wide receiver A.J. Brown. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Super Service Today. When your heat or hot water goes out, waiting isn't an option. Super Service Today's warehouse in Danvers is stocked with water heaters, furnaces, boilers, and heat pumps with same-day replacement. Day or night and always done right. Visit superservicetoday.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
The Sports Hub. 3 legendary franchises on one legendary radio station. It's the Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
You might hate me, but you're listening.
and Hardy
Don't bother me. I'm at the Pickle Palace.
on 98.5.
I know what I'm capable of.
He said something about peanut butter, right?
Yeah, boning, baby. Make America nut again.
That's gross. That's disgusting.
Let's talk about cheese.
What are you going to have for lunch?
I was at dinner with my wife and a friend.
Kitty, kitty, pussy, kitty, kitty, kitty. Flap, flap, flap.
Shut up, I'm trying to talk to Paul.
Toucher and Hardy
Good luck trying to put your finger in it when there's a million holes.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
I saw him come out of that birth canal. I've been blessed.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are Toucher and Hardy, Town Fair Tire Studios, 617-779-0985. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. Very exciting morning. Big announcement. Young Nicholas and his wonderful wife have had another child, another boy, yet unnamed. They don't have a name. Usually, you go into these things with a name. They knew the sex of the baby, but they've decided not. They don't have a name yet. There is some speculation that they will honor their Irish heritage.
I thought Hardy had some really good suggestions yesterday.
Seamus and things of that nature.
Seamus, Liam, Cullum, Podrick.
You left out Declan. That was the only one I thought I could think of that you left out.
Because we've learned through Nick's genetic testing that he, despite this front that he put on, that he was somehow Italian. In fact, his father's whole identity, from the shirts he wears to the hats he wears to living in the North End, has revolved around this Italian heritage. And then we saw that, Gemelli sounds Italian, it ends with a vowel. But we've learned that, indeed, if you go through the blood work, he is Irish, almost entirely Irish. So he had the child. So Nick will be gone for 3 weeks. which again is interesting because at a certain point he's only getting 60% of his salary, which for anyone is a bit of a choice.
Especially now with a second child. You would think 100% of the salary would be the most important thing.
Right, and he doesn't... I can't imagine his wife is going back to work, like that she's going back to work so he can stay home. I don't think that's happening. I think they're both going to be home.
So I'm a bad friend, and maybe we all are. But does anyone in this room, we'll start here with the three of us, do we know what Nick's day is like when he leaves here? Does he go home and take care of little Luigi there?
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay. So, Fred, do you know?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if they would trade off at 11:30, 12 o'clock in the
right.
12 o'clock. That doesn't make a lot of sense.
All right. So 12. Do you know what he does?
I mean, I don't think he has a set schedule. I think he helps out when that's needed, and he also has his part-time a job that he indulges in here and there, producing podcasts. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, for the first few weeks, if their first kid isn't in daycare of some kind, then yeah, he would absolutely be needed at home to take care of the what is he, 2.5?
A newborn and a toddler. That's a hands on deck situation.
That's a lot. But I just selfishly, my thought would be get me the hell out of here. After I got no use for a baby, I had no use for either one of my kids when they were babies, and I spent a lot of time with them. But I'm not one of these freaks that says, "Ooh, babies! I love a baby. Give me a baby."
If I remember correctly, you were coming into work pretty early after that first one was born, I believe.
I was off for a week.
Yeah, and then for a while you were coming in for your show a little earlier than you had been before the kid was born. I remember saying like, "Hey, aren't you in a little early for afternoons?" Yeah. I just I didn't want to get out of the house.
Yeah. Well, my daughter did nothing but cry for the first 2 years. That's all she did. Get me out of there.
Well, babies especially when they're very young, give you very little in return. They don't. There's no acknowledgement on their end of you, which is a little difficult it's difficult to bond at that point.
Yeah.
I guess it would be different for mothers because the baby came out of them, but for a father there's until what would you say, like 7, I can't even remember, but like certainly at least later into the first year there's not a whole lot, you're not getting a lot back.
I remember saying something to Felger once when I was sleep deprived.
This should be a good story. Why were you doing that in the first place?
Because we had our son, and my daughter was like 4, maybe 5 or something at that point. I said, yeah, you got the baby at home and he's fine, but at least my daughter now, I can hang out with her a little bit. She's 4 or 5 years old, and that's fine. And Felger said, yeah, I really got no use for them until they're about 7 years old. Like that. I mean, he really not a fan of baby, toddler, early development. Give me till they're about second grade. Then I can, take being around them.
Well, you can take them out and stuff once they're 4.
Yeah.
Like they can talk and stuff, and they can express affection.
Right.
Which is, I'm not asking for, a political conversation. I'm just asking, that's taking it a little further than I meant. I meant literally just like smiling at you and acknowledging that you were around.
My daughter cried so much, and we would be in the pediatrician's office saying like, there's something wrong with her. She cries all the time. And our pediatrician, I remember saying like at probably the second or third checkup or something, went into, she's like, look, every parent comes in here and says their baby cries all the time. Your daughter cries all the time. I get it now. I see it. I understand what's happening here. And she said, and I've shared this with Andrew Callahan recently because their kid was crying a lot. I said, our pediatrician told us your daughter is going to give you her first real smile when she is about 5 months old, and it's going to save her life. because you will entertain the darkest thoughts. You will, you find, how could anyone do that to a baby? Man, in those sleepless nights, no one would ever really consider. But you see where an unstable person would allow themselves to go there. And she was joking, of course, but I knew what she was saying. And Fred, you're absolutely right. That first smile, that first recognition, when they look at you and they know who you are, they thank God, a connection, because up until that point, you're just tasked with keeping this thing alive that gives you nothing in return.
Yeah, I remember being a little disappointed with bringing the baby home because I didn't know that they were just lumps for that long. But again, look, I'm not gonna. I swear to you, I could care. I mean, Nick could take 6 months off. It doesn't matter to me at all. It really doesn't matter to me. I don't mean that in a mean way. It's just he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah,
I actually think I'm being a little understanding.
Yeah.
But I mean, not understanding. It's his prerogative. I honestly don't care. I am a little fascinated again about the 60% pay. It just the incentive of getting back and making 100% of my salary. Because John and I, well, all of us had to take. You took the cut at COVID, did you, or did you have to?
Yeah.
So we took cuts at COVID, but that was like a trim, and I don't remember that being like debilitating. But when John and I missed individually for illness, and mine was an illness. I know.
You were out longer than I was.
I will take
think.
a lot of the cuckoo's nest insults, and I think they're funny. But this was not cuckoo's nest. This was the throat thing, and that sucks.
Yeah,
that's just like not getting paid.
That was 6 weeks for me.
Yeah,
I think it was a little longer for you.
Yeah, I think I had because I saved up vacation and sick time, and so I think that it ended up being like 2 months.
Yeah, I got hammered twice in a year because the surgery was November before the shutdown, and I took 6 weeks of that, and then after we came back for COVID, then we all had to trim a little bit.
See, I think you would have had every right to go, I'm not taking the trim.
Yeah.
Like at that point going, like you
just claim the juicy tumor clause.
That's right.
No.
That's what it's called. Yep.
I need that 10%.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing I make a little bit more money than Nick, so I'm a little mystified how they came to that financial decision between the two of them. Like, you're weighing the two things. And again, I'm just putting myself in Nick's shoes. Honestly, again, take a year. I don't care. I really don't. Seriously don't. But I put myself in his shoes, and if he was my kid, I'd be like, I think you best get back to work, especially with this schedule. You do have, especially Nicky, there's not a whole lot he has to do. Like, he doesn't have to really prepare for the next day. So he's kind of, and I know he has to put a podcast up and stuff, and whatever that takes after the show. Not a terribly long time. He's not working an 8-hour day. Let's put it that way. And then when he's done, he's done. Once every 5 months he'll get street audio. If none of the teams are in any kind of big playoff run, the Bruins or the Celtics, I mean, he could go a year without getting street audio. So, I mean, he's got a fairly short work day. I know he commutes and, but it's also a time when I would imagine his wife is home for most of that time.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I look at it if it was one of my kids, or my son, I guess, because my daughter would be different. But my son, I'd just be like, hey, I mean, my daughter will be different because she'll obviously be a housewife. So I'll go with my son. I'd be like, you really want to only make 60% of your salary? Unless your wife is making like a ton of money and is going right back to work, then obviously you save money because it's cheaper than a nanny. But I don't.
You know what? There's a chance, and I'll accept this as a possibility, that he really just wants to be home for these first few weeks. Well,
I imagine he does, but that's kind of goes along.
I can't imagine wanting to be there for it. That's kind of my point. Like
I imagine he wants to be home, so that's kind of like my point is that there's really like it's not a necessity that he be home,
right?
But he like wants to be home, which I again understand, and it's his prerogative. The 60% pay is where I would go. Okay, if that's what you're gonna do.
Well, he gets a week, right?
I don't know.
I think he gets a week at like full, paternity leave pay. So it's really only the 2 weeks he's gonna take the trim. So it's one paycheck,
right? Which I don't think that he can afford.
I don't know.
Again, it's 60% of one paycheck. I don't think Nick makes a ton of money. That's a fairly significant cut. I would imagine that's out of his salary, I would imagine that's,
Ryan, go down to the
with.
HR office. Find out how much Nick makes. Just go through the filing cabinets. We'll get to the bottom of it.
I honestly have no idea how much Nick makes. I know it's certainly difficult to keep him around because we're the only show that has 3 people in the back room and that there's sporadically discussions that I have to get into to advocate for both people being here. And that hasn't happened in a while. And Nick, in fairness to him, and a compliment to him, is he's made himself very useful. He knows how to do stuff that he's taught himself how to do stuff that other people can't do. He can do all the video stuff, which he's become pretty good at. So I will tell you, Nick has earned his keep. I advocate for Nick. I'm not saying that they don't want him. They're just cheap and they don't want to pay, 3 people to be back there. So there is, I don't. Are you aware of that, John? The discussions that you're probably not aware of.
No, I'm not pulled into these meetings.
Well, no one is but me. So
you haven't mentioned it. Let's put it that way.
No, I've mentioned it plenty of times. I've mentioned it every time that I have to defend myself for my treatment of Nick. You just don't listen to me. But
he's not listening.
No, he's not listening. But I have had to go in, not because it's Nick, but because when Dan and Lockhart were here.
Yes,
they had been here for a very long time, and Nick had come back. Now Nick's been here for a long time, but not as long as they had. So there was always this, putting around about why you need 3 people, and then there was always advocating for Nick and da-da-da-da-da. So there you go.
There was a time where management really wasn't fully aware of all the ins and outs of this show.
Well, I mean, they got rid of Mike, and then it was not handled well by anyone but Mike and I. But nonetheless, you'll recall.
Yes.
Oh.
It was not my intention to lead you in that direction.
It was in the newspaper.
Yeah.
You know why it was in the newspaper? It's not like the company put out a press release.
Oh, man. I'll take that, though. I'm happy we played that.
No, they ended up paying him again, if anyone doesn't know, which I knew they would. There was the matter of talking to them and explaining, but they were not given the opportunity. In fairness to Beasley, they were not even given the opportunity.
I think Bob Ross would call that a happy accident right there. That was good.
Yeah, I was just going through like the stuff about the history of that room, and that it's not always easy to keep people around. It's been a while, so that's good. I'll tell you that. And I know they're very happy with Nick. But again, if you were his dad, and look, he's an adult, and I'm just talking about if you were his father, wouldn't you at least mention, maybe you need to get back and make a full salary?
Well, they're estranged.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of. They're estranged.
But I'm guessing that you wouldn't be estranged. That you.
Oh, yeah.
Nick, I don't care what you do. Do whatever the hell you want. Nah.
I thought maybe I would bring the new baby over to
Who cares?
Don't you want to meet your new grandson?
Nah. Why? So you can hold it over my head?
Why am I holding it over your head?
Because you're bringing it over to threaten to take it away.
Oh, not my intention.
We're
Dad.
not Italian.
You have to move out of the North End.
Now I'm gonna have to move to Southie. Wherever Italian people, not Italian, Irish people live, which is everywhere.
Right.
I guess
You
Brighton.
can move anywhere else. Brighton Shore, yeah. Shoosh.
Yes.
West Roxbury.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Head over there.
When you go to Irish Village in Brighton, you'll have a good time. All right. So there you go. Congratulations to Nick. I guess right on time, the baby was born. Almost exactly on time, given his timeline that he'd given us. But we have a little bit of audio from Nick coming up at 8 o'clock about his Shred Fest.
Yes.
And we will have that for you, but we'll catch you up with everything that happened last night in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy.
We are Toucher and Hardy. What happened last night, sorry, is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. Hardy, the Celtics played last evening.
They did indeed, and there was so much talk about Jason Tatum returning for this game as it was moved to a primetime affair on NBC, and a matchup of Eastern Conference teams, and this could be the spot. When did we learn it would be a result to the contrary? Yesterday morning?
Early the day before.
On Saturday.
Yeah, on Saturday.
Yeah. No, Jason Tatum. Did not play. Not ready. Not going to be there.
He was ready. The camera crews for his documentary were unavailable because of the blizzard.
So, all right, let's stay up and watch Jaylen Brown. He's still pretty good.
Jaylen switches to the right hand, spins on Barlow, runs it up with the right hand, and banks it in. Boy, he got away with a couple of things there.
Well, he got away with just throwing that ball up and kissing off the window that way.
25-17.
There we go. An early lead and a big half for someone else in the Celtics green.
Hand off Edgecombe. Jordan Wall slides his feet. That allows Pritchard to come from the backside and strip Edgecombe. 3-on-2. Pritchard drop for the trailer. Keita again steps through two guys. Scoops it up and in.
The big fella hung in the air. He hung in the air. Quackity quack quack.
Oh, like a duck. He hung in the air like ducks do.
See, to me, ducks flap rather furiously in order to stay airborne.
Oh, and they don't stay airborne for very long, do they?
Generally, they can fly forever.
No, I know they can fly, but like when you spook them, they generally just get up and like move over a little bit.
It's a big hop, a little bit of a hop.
Yeah, they're in Cold Spring Park.
The big fella hung in the air. He hung in the air. Quackity quack quack.
Yeah, it's good.
Put on a show with the country watching. Neemias Queta. Timeout, Nick Nurse.
It is true. The country was glued in.
It was on national television. Mike Tirico was calling the game, their number one guy.
Right. It was the whole country was watching.
Mm-hmm.
It was on Sunday night at 8 o'clock. The whole country was tuned in. It was like the gold medal hockey game.
It's country, world, whatever. A lot of people watching to see how this team would continue to fare without Jason Tatum. Pretty good between Jaylen Brown and Keita and, Derek White.
Derek White steps to his right, knocks down a three right now.
Well, he liked that shot in the rhythm. Able to catch that ball and then elevate nicely.
28-10, Boston run.
Derek
White
might
that shot with rhythm, right?
Well, you know what? Derek White might take more shots either that are in rhythm or moving laterally or something. The ones that, if you're watching Derek White for the first time, you say, don't take that shot. Oh. He knows what
Boy,
he's
that's
doing.
deep. Boy, there's a guy right on top of you.
There's a guy right on top of you.
Yeah.
He doesn't really seem to be set. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And Keita would assert himself much later in the game as they were putting the finishing touches on this.
Contested, so Jaylen Brown enters to Keita against a smaller Edgecombe. Spins, Drummond reaches in, knocks the ball away. Keita comes up with it, forces it up and in. Scored and the foul. And the Neemias Queta night might have just had its signature moment.
Boy, is this his thing? Hercules!
Nutty Professor.
Neemias Queta matching Jaylen Brown 27 points on the night as the Celtics defeat the Sixers 114-98.
10 offensive rebounds for Keita. 17 total. It was fun to watch. Keita can't make a shot outside of 4 feet. Can't step out and knock down a jumper. He's the anti-modern NBA. But he had a really big game last night.
Well, the NBA, the Ringer, they write extensively about the NBA. I don't know if you've known that. Bill Simmons with his coffee table book analyzing everything that ever happened in the NBA.
I think most coffee tables collapse under that book.
Yeah. Well, usually most coffee table books are more photos than anything else,
Yes.
not full writing. They have Jaylen Brown ranked as the 11th best player in the NBA. Yeah. I know he's a big VIP. He's a big MVP candidate.
Right.
I was going to say that seems low.
It does seem low.
It seems low for one of the, and again, some of the MVP candidates are not because of the number of games they, will play or they have no chance of reaching that mark. But yeah, that seems low for someone who is a presumptive favorite for the MVP.
Well, look, it's March 2nd, so we can have a little fun. I'm not going to have you guess. I'll just read the names. Right. You can tell me if they're better than Brown. Not if they're going to win MVP, but if they're better than Brown.
Okay.
You'd rather have them than Brown, I guess. Jokic.
Yes.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yes.
Victor Wembanyama.
Yes.
Yeah.
Luka Doncic.
Yes.
Giannis.
Yes.
No.
Not based on age, just right now.
No, I'd take Jaylen Brown.
Giannis has been hurt a lot.
No. But
skill set, Giannis.
Yeah. Anthony Edwards.
See, now we're getting close.
Right.
I think that I would take Jaylen Brown over Anthony Edwards right now.
Fair enough. Kawhi Leonard, which is odd because I don't know what the hell he's doing.
Kawhi is healthy for the first time in a long time. All-Star game MVP, whatever. He was an all-star, but I'd still take Jaylen Brown over him.
All right, Stephen Curry.
Right now?
Jaylen Brown.
Okay. Cade Cunningham.
Close.
But Jaylen Brown.
Donovan Mitchell. Again, I don't know what he's
Jaylen Brown.
All right.
Over Donovan Mitchell. So he's a top 5 guy.
Well, no.
What we've kind of...
No.
So you put Curry ahead of him, didn't you?
No, I did not.
Oh, you didn't? You
not right now. No.
Oh, interesting. So you put Giannis, Doncic, Wembanyama. Yeah, so he would be 5th, I guess, according to what you said.
Yeah. Yep.
Not 11th.
But Cade Cunningham, it might be a push.
Yeah,
I would
close.
say Brown gets a small nod because he rebounds better and is a better defender.
You positive he rebounds better? I'm not denying it.
Yes.
But, okay,
I am.
Because they're almost exactly the same size. Okay.
Well, Fred, maybe the most interesting aspect of last night's game for you personally would be some commentary that Reggie Miller had during the game.
Jason, you know this Reggie? You were watching close. Well, I don't know what's on the right, that bling bling. I know nothing about that. Yeah, that was weird. What's on the left?
They're looking at what's on the wrist of a certain player.
Left is he's wearing a Whoop. It's one of those wearables where it tracks your sleep patterns, your strain, your recovery. You got one on right now. I got one on.
Yeah.
I wear it every day, 24/7 for the last 2 years.
Yeah, all of a sudden
it's helped in my development in terms of my cycling and how to recover and how much sleep I'm getting the night before.
Yeah, it's a life changer. Now, you know what I watched this weekend? I had a period of time, about a 2-hour period of time where I had nothing to do. I watched The Malice in the Palace. Not a documentary on it. I watched 20 minutes of the game.
Wow.
Which was a very boring game. And so this happened at the end. Now, a couple things. Reggie Miller was in street clothes. You've never seen anyone know less what to do in a melee than Reggie Miller. That's number one. And number two is, in terms of, obviously Ron Artest is the one who went into the crowd, but that was going on a long time before he went into the crowd, and he did the cardinal sin. But up until that point, he had nothing to do with anything that was going on. He got Ben Wallace pushed him in the face. He walked away. And then he was laying on the scores table. He he was clowning around. He put the headset on to one of the broadcasters. Now he was laying there and he was leaving himself vulnerable. But everyone was fighting around him and he was doing nothing for quite a long period of time. Steven Jackson did way more than he did in that.
Yeah.
And you know what would have solved that whole thing? Is if you see it in the NBA now. We talk about it with Cedric Maxwell. And he is a proponent of this. If everyone didn't come out and break everything up, if they just let it if they just let the refs handle it, and not everyone felt like they needed to come on the court and frantically push everyone away, that would have stopped everything. Nothing would have happened. There might have been a scrum on the court that went on for a little while, but Artest never would have laid on the scores table. They never would have been pushing and shoving around, but where the fans were, none of that stuff would have happened. If they just would have let him go, I was a little surprised. Malice in the Palace was the big fight between Indiana and Detroit that spilled into the crowd, and Steven Jackson and Ron Artest were suspended for very, very long. No one on the Pistons got that much time. Ben Wallace, I think, got the most, and he got like 4 games. Artest got the year, and I think that was like the 5th game of the season, and Steven Jackson got a bunch of time because Steven Jackson hit a guy in the stands. He just ran in the stands, started throwing punches.
Well, and then that one guy who looked like Turtle from Entourage came down, decided to square up.
Well, the thing is, I can't give Artest any problems for hitting the guy on the court because Artest walks back onto the court, and then this guy gets up in his face on the court and like touches him. So he's got every right to hit him there. On the court, you can hit a fan. Fan comes up and starts like engaging with you physically. You have every right to defend yourself.
Yeah, you're trespassing at that point.
Right.
You get what you get.
Like fan throws a beer on you. I get it. You're really pissed off, but you can't go in and hit a guy. Like if a guy at a bar threw a beer at you, I think that you're not allowed to hit him. I mean, I don't know if you'd get none of all these charges were basically, they were all charged with assault. I know Steven Jackson and Artest were charged with assault, but they got off. They didn't obviously do any jail time or anything. But if you ever go back and watch that, it's a perfect example of the NBA. Just if they would have, because I think that part of getting up and getting in the middle of everyone is the idea of doing it. Like
yes,
I want to be
you don't want to be seen doing nothing.
Yeah, but also, like, I get to be on the court and act like a tough guy and, like, get between these guys. I'm talking about, you mentioned, like, all the guys that are wearing sweatpants, not that aren't on the team.
Right. All the just slew of assistant coaches.
Yeah, and, like, the audio-visual staff and everything that seems to need to run on the court to get in the middle of everything. They just let them go a little bit. I can tell you right now, go watch it yourself. That never would have happened. Nothing would have happened if they just let him go.
I think the average NBA player wouldn't have an appetite for more than a swing or two if they got really angry. There are exceptions like Isaiah Stewart, but getting back to your point of just letting the refs handle it, I think after maybe 15 seconds of, screaming at each other and maybe throwing a punch, it would be over.
Okay, so
they're not hockey players.
Well, also if they're big guys, if they connect, like it's not going to be a very long fight. So 10 guys on the court, 10 players. What, 3 refs?
Yes.
10 players, 3 refs. That's enough. That's 10 people start. And John, even to your point, if 2 guys are willing to fight, say 3 are, 7 aren't. But they're willing to hold guys.
Mm-hmm.
So, and even if the coaches obviously can get involved. So now we're talking about 15 people. That's enough. That's enough. If it's a huge Donnybrook, which this wasn't at the beginning, then whatever happens, happens. But you let it go.
Right. Even the security personnel in the stadium whose main job is just to stand there and watch. I would say, fair guess, for the most part, they're not equipped to go in there and start fighting or breaking up fights between 7-foot guys in the best shape of their lives.
Or how about worry about the and by the way, at the game at that point, there was probably about 8,000 people there. How about worrying about the 8,000 people in the stands?
Yeah.
Don't let fans on the court.
Right.
That's all you have to do. Let these guys fight. And by the way, if they all kick the hell out of each other, that's their prerogative. That's who cares? I mean, that's the major thing. If those guys want to fight, let them fight.
Yeah. Why is there private security intervening in a fight between 2 NBA players on an NBA court?
Right. There's elbows to the face in games. Yeah. Guys are undercutting each other. I mean, it's against the rules, but I mean, it's not assault. So, if you're going for a rebound and your elbow gets up and you break a guy's nose, you're not going to jail. It really is fascinating to me. Like, I'd much rather have, even if they beat the living hell out of each other, then at least it doesn't go to criminal court and like there's not civilians involved. If they want to fight, let them fight. If that's the worst case, I don't think that would ever happen. like where everyone was just beating the hell out of each other. I really don't think that would happen. I mean, it barely ever happens in hockey.
There's no appetite for 99% of all NBA players. There's no appetite for this. There's an appetite to show off. There's an appetite to say, hold me back. I'm going to kill you, that kind of thing. But there's no appetite in general to go further than that.
Yeah, so I did find the exercise interesting.
Well,
Bernie Smilovitz, too. I didn't live in town anymore after he got fired in New York when he tried to fly the coop.
Oh, yeah.
It's a Detroit guy.
The Reggie Miller endorsement of the Whoop, he even extended it by a little bit by roping someone else in.
Joe Mazzulla, he swears by it as well. They're based out of here in Boston, but the way fitness is going today, it's all about the Whoop band in terms of tracking your recovery. How much of these players are getting enough sleep to be able to perform on a night in and nightly basis, and it's been the best thing personally for me.
Okay, and we're up against time. I get it. Hardy's not doing this justice. This went on for about 3 minutes while play is going on in front of us. It was an extended commercial.
I think I've done it justice. We played 2 clips of it.
I know, but there was at least double that amount, if not triple that amount, from Reggie about the Whoop.
You get going about you get talking about the Whoop. You're going to talk about the Whoop.
Sometimes something you're passionate about that everybody needs to know about.
Oh, man.
Well, if you're not an elite athlete, I guess you guys wouldn't understand about it, or if you don't demand the best of yourself. I mean,
you too can stress and have anxiety about the quality of sleep that you're getting, or in Fred's case, not getting.
Well, it's got me going to the sleep doctor. I mean, it's getting me rectifying it. I mean, I'm going to a real doctor because I do have severe sleep apnea. I've been studied by non-Whoop devices. So, when I'm coming in here fresh as a daisy after they, install this thing in my chest that I can hit a button.
When they putting that thing in there?
I mean, I go in a couple weeks to go to the guy. I mean, these guys they don't have an open door policy. I mean, every guy my age has to go to the sleep doctor. According to when I dropped off the equipment, and that was a
closed door policy. You just had to leave it outside a locked door in a strip mall.
Exactly. It was like Dan Flasher's. It was just a bunch of guys fighting over snoring equipment.
This tracker costs over $1,000 because it's so complicated.
That's right. All right. We'll be back in just a moment.
Quackity quack quack.
Live, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics beat Philadelphia 114-98 at TD Garden last night. It was a night to remember for Neemias Queta. 27 points and 17 rebounds, both career highs. Celtics back at it tonight in Milwaukee. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Bruins off until tomorrow night when they play Pittsburgh. Red Sox lost to Baltimore yesterday in Fort Myers 8-7. Wilson Contreras, a 3-run homer. Rangers Suarez, 3 innings of work. Johan Oviedo will start this afternoon in Dunedin, Florida against Toronto. And the NFL Scouting Combine wound down yesterday in Indianapolis. ESPN is reporting now that the feeling around the league is it's going to take a second-round draft pick ultimately to make a trade for Philadelphia wide receiver A.J. Brown. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Awaken 180. We all love the word free. So does Awaken 180. Medication-free, side effect-free, and free support for life. Awaken180weightloss.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
know what, but we won't say what. Yeah, worst take on these airwaves in the last 24 hours.
We may not take a call today.
The Sports Hub.
IYKYK, which obviously YD. Okay?
Dutcher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Hub.
All right, here we go, third take.
We are Toucher and Hardy. On Saturday night, I went to the BCBU hockey game at BC. And I saw Hagens and then the tall kid.
Letourneau.
And I couldn't tell if they were good or not. No one did anything.
They
so
lost,
I couldn't tell.
right?
Yeah, they lost.
Yeah.
They didn't play very well. But I couldn't tell. Again, I go to these college hockey games. And you know, they don't fight, but they get all up in each other's headspace. So I'm not sure what ultimately happens with that. You know, they get very physical, but they don't fight. I find it very difficult. When I don't know any of the players, I find it very difficult. I knew Hagens was number 10. That I ascertained. And the tall kid's very tall.
So what were you doing there? Just some scouting?
Yeah. I went with some scouting buddies of mine, and we hung out.
I got an email from someone who said they're going to Vegas for the Frozen Four. Anybody know anything about this?
Nope.
I am heading out there next month for the 2026 NCAA Men's Frozen Four. First time in Vegas. Don't want to be blah, blah, blah. You know, but the typical want the, places to go, which I only have one suggestion that I make to anybody. But I didn't know I didn't know they did something in Vegas for that at the T-Mobile there, I guess.
What's this? Well, no, they don't usually have it there. It varies every year.
Right. But I didn't know they would have it in Vegas at all. The suggestion I make is if you really want something off the beaten path, then find a Roberto's taco shop. And there's 15 of them around the city. They'll either be in a strip mall or attached to, sometimes inside of a gas station. Think of like a Dunkin' counter inside of a gas station, but instead it's a Roberto's taco shop. Get yourself a carne asada burrito and make sure you will have access to a bathroom 30 minutes after you're done eating. And it's all worth it.
Oh.
It's all worth it.
Really?
Roberto's Taco Shop, Las Vegas. And I think they started in San Diego. I used to talk to Ted Johnson about it. He was a big fan of Roberto's.
What about Pawn Stars?
Yeah, don't bother. Don't bother going to the Gold and Silver coin shop or whatever it's called. You will not run into Chumley or anyone else down there.
What do you mean? Why wouldn't Chums be there?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, golf course. There's a whole separate conversation if you're looking to play golf in Las Vegas. But I want to do something different when I go to Vegas. Go to Roberto's. That's all I got. That's all I do.
That's the voice he gave to the people that are asking. I want to do something different in Vegas. They're asking. They're travelers. They're curious travelers, and you're insulting them.
Different in Las Vegas.
Hello.
Hey, Red Sox, more hot spring training action yesterday. The Sox had the early lead over Baltimore.
Drives this one up to left field. It is high. It is gone. Second home run of the spring.
Touch them all. Make it 8 total bases for the second of the spring. Goodbye, baseball. Hello, souvenir. Get it signed on the way out. It's spring training.
Ranger Suarez was the starter in this contest. He went 3 innings.
Rocky Suarez was the starter in my masturbatory fantasies.
And then six pitchers later, things started to really unravel for the Sox.
Then home to Boston. This one gets away. Juan gets after it. Run comes in. It's a one-run game once again. 2-2 back-to-back pitches get away, and they both lead to runs. And the Orioles tie this game up at 7 apiece.
I'm going to sue the Red Sox. I'm thinking about it because if you look at the box score, it says R. Suarez, which, of course, is a marketing campaign to steal from the Arm in the Fall reader. Our Suarez, Rocky Suarez.
She slung the soaked limb over her shoulder and waded back towards the beach.
Every time that Rocky Suarez pitched, the catcher was calling for putting down 2 because he wanted to touch those 2 voluptuous cassava melons on her chest.
But she was a cop. A cop's cop.
Yeah. Right.
Where do we stand with Gary at this point?
Everything's great with Gary. He's very busy. He's got a bunch of projects that he's.
I'm tweeting at Studios, at Universal, at Paramount. Congratulations!
Great job with everything you're doing. It's all working.
Way to get the monopoly.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I approve of this message. Take over everything. What do you need?
Let's see what he's posted recently. Oh, he had that photo up of him and Jamie Lee Curtis. Had a blast working with this down-to-earth legend. At the Bear FX stories were a masterclass. Hashtag Ellen McKay, hashtag Jamie Lee Curtis at 20th Century Studios.
There it is.
I emailed her. I said, Jamie, guess what? I said, Lee Kurt, guess what? You might be bombarded with some DMs. Just a heads up, Gary hashtagged you. Me and her, we were doing some work. I was reenacting the scene in Trading Places where she exposed her bosom. Yeah. You have short hair, you're wearing a wig.
He also included a screenshot of something that he took off of Instagram and said, "Major doors are about to open for you. Your faith is paid off. The universe, capital U, is taking care of everything on your behalf. Send this to yourself immediately."
Yeah, the universe is taking care of old Gary. He's telling him, get rid of your 401k, buy appliances.
It's awesome.
Can do, God. Thanks for the finance advice. Taxes smashes. F the future. Gary's going to be a big-time star. Fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Right. That's why Gary needs a hot Maserati so he can pull up to the lot. Who's this cat in the Maz?
Let's make cocaine legal.
Yeah, well, listen. Whatever it takes to get off that casting couch.
So there you go. Red Sox.
Poppers, usually.
Amyl nitrate.
All right. Whatever you want Gary to do, just let him take a little pop beforehand. Loosen things up.
Red
They
Sox
take him to the woodshed. How about that?
lost to the Orioles 8-7 eventually.
Well, that's devastating.
Yeah. What are we going to do?
All right. There was a famous person was arrested last week or a little before that, and they were being interviewed on a guy that I actually like. Interviewed him, even though he's of the podcast realm. And not even really a podcast, more of a video guy. But Shia LaBeouf, interesting fellow. We'll talk about that in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
This is 128 Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric, our Finish Strong Friday partner. They're the local and independently owned go-to since 92. Visit them at call128.com.
From the Telfair Tire Studios, this is Boston's home for sports. The flagship station of the Patriots, Bruins, the Celtics, WBCFM and HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group station celebrating 65 years of broadcasting. Essential Sports Hub headline, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics scored a 114-98 home win over Philadelphia last night at TD Garden. Tyrese Maxey scored a game-high 33 points for the Sixers, but he needed to take 34 shots to get there. Nemias Queta, meanwhile, had career highs of 27 points and 17 rebounds for Joe Mazzulla.
You got to have a level of professionalism, work ethic, understanding. He's brought all that on. I thought he's had great ownership and responsibility to what it calls for to be a starting center for the Celtics, and he's got to continue to get better. And he works at it. He cares. So it's a credit to him.
The second half of the back-to-back is in Milwaukee tonight. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Bruins off until tomorrow night when they host Pittsburgh. The NHL trade deadline arrives on Friday. Red Sox now 5-4 in preseason play. They lost to Baltimore and Fort Myers yesterday 8-7. Ranger Suarez solid in his second Sox start. He gave up 1 run in 3 innings. Red Sox will pitch Johan Oviedo against Toronto and Dunedin, Florida today. Former Sox outfielder Alex Verdugo yesterday signed a minor league contract with San Diego. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the 99 Restaurants. Head to the Nines Thursday night to play trivia, enjoy 6 packs of bone-in wings, and for a chance to win a 99 gift card and other great prizes. You gotta love the Nines. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Diving effort. He's got a breakaway. Goes to the backhand. Throws it in front. Coming to the spot.
The Sports Hub. When it comes to the show, Hardy thinks the same way you do.
Nothing happened.
He's got the same questions.
Where is the story?
And the same opinions.
Boring.
And he's back with Fred on the Sports Hub.
The YouTube, we are available if you subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub. Now, you know Shia LaBeouf?
Sure.
Shia LaBeouf?
Yes, from The Greatest Game Ever Played, where he portrays Francis Ouimet in the epic U.S. Open showdown between him and Harry Vardon, the greatest sports upset in history. 1913, Country Club.
Lived right across the street, if I remember
right
correctly.
across the street as a caddy.
All right, so you know that I give a lot of money to that Francis Ouimet Scholarship Fund.
Yeah.
You know, and anytime
Not by choice.
No, it's not by choice. But anytime that I talk about it, I get a nice email explaining how important it is, which I don't mind. I mean, I give like $200 to it a year. It's not that big a deal. But
they just take it out of your club dues. How does that work?
Yeah, no, that's in addition to your club dues. They take it out of it. You know, so Shia LaBeouf, you'll know him from Even Stevens. Do you recall Even Stevens, John? You might be a little old, but do you recall the show Even Stevens?
I do not.
It was on the Disney Channel. He was 10 years old. He was on Even Stevens for a while. And so he is from a self-described Jewish hippie family. When he was 10 years old, he began Even Stevens. Maybe 14 years old. He was on Even Stevens on the Disney Channel. So he, that I'm just giving you his background for a reason. He was baptized in bar mitzvah. He had a Christian father. I guess he's very into Catholicism. That's what Brian told me. But nonetheless, I just wanted to give you this. He went to the 32nd Street Visual and Performing Arts Magnet School in Los Angeles. And then he got most of his education from tutors. I'm giving you all this for a reason.
Okay.
So Andrew Callahan, that's how you pronounce it, right? The guy from All Gas, No Brakes, that guy. He interviewed Shia LaBeouf. Now, he's just been arrested 2 times in New Orleans for assault. I believe he's a drug addict, a recovering drug addict, but he's relapsed. So he had Shia LaBeouf on, and it's not so much for what Shia LaBeouf says. It's the character that he's adopted in his real life that I'm the most interested by. All right, so this is someone who's been performing since the age of 10. They're from a Jewish hippie family. He went to the Alexander Hamilton High School and 32nd Street Visual and Performing Arts Magnet School in Los Angeles. Here is Shia LaBeouf.
Channel 5 News, what's up?
We made it.
Yeah, we made it.
Live from my...
All right, so the first voice you might not know is white Shia LaBeouf from the 32nd Street Visual and Performing Arts Magnet School in Los Angeles and the Disney Channel from his prepubescent years.
We do this for you guys.
Yes, it is quite a scene. He's 5'9". He's a 5'9" Jewish kid who's been acting in Disney television shows since about the age of 10, 11, 12.
Channel 5 News, what's up?
Yeah, that's not Andrew Callahan. That is that is Shia LaBeouf. All 5'9" of them sitting there. Now, don't get him confused. He's not in Mobb Deep. He's not from the Queensbridge Projects. He is Shia LaBeouf.
Shia.
Whatever. Who cares? All I know is that he's not one to trifle with. I find it very interesting that he's picking fights, too. I'm questioning. I mean, maybe he does
constantly,
judo.
Consistently. Yeah, well, maybe he knows jiu-jitsu or push hands.
Yeah, perhaps he knows jiu-jitsu and he could tear you into a pretzel. But then imagine you meet another guy that listens to podcasts. Then there's two jiu-jitsu guys going at it, and then someone's gonna have to tap.
Channel 5 News, what's up?
We made it.
Yeah, we made it.
Live from uptown New Orleans.
Did it.
Less than 1 week after Mardi Gras, right?
We did it.
Oh, exactly 1 week since Fat Tuesday.
I like this setup, bro. It's so solid, bro. It's holistic.
Well, bro, thank you for making the time.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Easy.
I think a lot of people probably saw some of the Mardi Gras media coverage.
No, I understand.
Heard about the arrest and stuff.
God bless them.
Likely want to know how you're doing.
Bro, I've been having the time of my life. You know, I got some contrition on my heart, you know what I mean? It's not nice to hurt people, ever. It's lame. People got hurt, I got to deal with that. I'm going to deal with that. I'm going to deal with that in full. I'll eat it all. It's on me. It's not on them. It's on me. I f***ed up. It's on me. I f***ed up. It's on me.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Is it on you? So if he was born he is 39 years old. So I'm wondering when this whole metamorphosis took place, when he went from the quirky kid on Even Stevens into this role in his life. There is something fascinating about some performers where they just change the way they are, like the way they speak, that he's trying to pass himself off as this street kid. It's very interesting to me. Now, I don't doubt he had a messed up childhood, child actor, all these things, but it is interesting to me that he's adopted this way of speaking, even though there's no chance that he grew up around this environment. This isn't like someone who, just grew up in a neighborhood and that's the way they learned how to talk, and this is the way that they talk now. This is a conscious effort from Shia LaBeouf to, change his way. Again, if he's obviously like mentally ill, and that's a shame, and that sucks. And I'm sure, again, the way he was raised was not a benefit to him. But I'm more fascinated with the way he talks.
Responsibility for
1,000%. We're not gonna play games.
Yeah.
But I had a great time.
Definitely. Just like partying at Mardi Gras in
Nah,
general.
more than that. Something further than that. Something like sacred, bro. Something like joy is sacred, bro. And we're in, I don't know. I keep talking like weird, like, because we're camered up. So I'm thinking I gotta talk for a big audience. I'm gonna talk for me. Let's start over. Click.
All right, so now he's gonna. Now that he's talking for himself, obviously he's gonna start going. Well, Andrew, to be honest with you, this is what happened. So he's switching from the Shia LaBeouf tough, Mardi Gras party and persona into the real Shia LaBeouf. Let's see what he does. Yeah. Assalamu alaikum. Yeah.
Start the whole interview over. Start the interview over, bro.
All right, we're here. Shia LaBeouf live,
Yeah.
New Orleans, 1 week after Fat Tuesday. How are you doing 1 through 10?
Blessed.
Okay, so that's a 10.
It's a 10. Yeah, bro, I feel good. I mean, you know what I mean? I got an answer for it, but overall, I feel good. I came out here heartbroken. I speak to you now as a man who's filling my heart up.
How long have you been in New Orleans for?
14 days, 12 days.
Yeah. All right. But this is a sports show, so would you like to hear the Shia LaBeouf story of his? He's
The greatest game ever played. Yes,
He's
very
very
much so.
angry at a sports figure from his youth. Would you like to hear who he's angry at?
Oh yeah, I know, but I want to hear it anyway.
I remember trying to get Mike Piazza's autograph, motherfucker. You know what I mean? For my whole life, Mike Piazza.
Were you waiting outside the fence?
Every day, this guy, bro. We used to go to these Dodger games. Big Brothers program used to give these tickets out. You go Dodger game. Me and all of them dudes would be sitting in the parking lot. Brent Butler always signed.
So every day, the Big Brothers and Sisters would take them to a Dodgers game. That's a quite well-funded Big Brothers Big Sisters program. That every day they would take them to a Dodgers game. All right, kids. 82 games. We're taking the whole lot of you to a Dodgers game. And we're going to get there early and stay late so you can go get autographs, too. I'd be questioning if I was giving the Los Angeles area Boys and Girls Club, especially for young people with Disney. I would be a little concerned if they were going to all these Dodger games. I would be like, I would like this to be more educational and practical real life stuff than just going to a million Dodger games. Maybe one or two. That's plenty.
Maybe start funneling your money toward the WeMet fund as opposed to it's all connected. It's all connected.
Absolutely.
Hideo Nomo always signed. Mike Piazza.
Just a cold
Mike
heart.
Piazza, you're a bitch, bro.
Now he's kind of shifted to a more. Now he's more like
He's back. He's back to.
No. Now he's moved almost into a stand and deliver type personality.
He fell out of character a little bit, it sounded like at the beginning of that clip. I was asking Ryan where that comes at 17 minutes in. I feel like he started strong with this new persona he's adopting, but it kind of fell off about 15, 17
Well,
minutes in.
it can be hard to do a accent. You know, of anyone who's tried, it's hard to do an accent for this long. But he was almost going to like finger man. Yeah,
You're a bitch, bro.
Finger man.
Just a cold
Mike
heart.
Piazza, you're a bitch, bro.
How many times do you think he rejected signing up?
Every day, bro. I used to go out there 90 times probably. Rejected me 90 times. So what it did was, I'm going to sign them all. So when I got on, it was like, yo, Mike Piazza.
So you don't turn down any pictures?
Never, ever. Not unless I'm with.
Which is how Malcolm X became Malcolm X. He was, I'll tell you this, is that Red Grange wouldn't sign his autographs, and he got very angry, and then it became a whole thing. And then it spurred him on to lead rebellion.
Well, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was the first one who agreed to sign something for him, and that led him down the path that he went on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a well-known story. You've seen the film.
Never, ever. Not unless I'm with my kid, or I'm eating some food, or I'm chasing some ass.
Like a man with principles. Yeah.
You want to? This is something interesting that if you dare get into the psyche of Shia LaBeouf. So the last fight that he was in New Orleans, he said, "I'll be honest with you, big gay people are scary to me. When I'm like standing by myself and 3 gay dudes are next to me touching my leg, I get scared. I'm sorry if that's homophobic, then I'm that." That led to him being aggressive, being thrown out of the bar, and punching people. Now, what was the big rumor about Mike Piazza back in the day?
Oh.
That Mike Piazza didn't have to address, but very strangely chose to have a press conference to announce what?
That he wasn't gay.
I'm not gay.
Yes.
Well, I think a lot of I think this maybe is all coming from the same place for Shia.
Well, in fairness, a big gay guy could just be anyone of normal height to Shia LaBeouf.
Well, yeah. Well, how big was he? He was like 5'8". He was a monster.
He was. And everyone knows that big gay guys, I mean, when you're out in public, they're all over you. Like they won't keep their hands off you.
That's right. Very aggressive, very mean.
Yeah.
Not friendly.
No. As a rule, as a matter of fact.
Because you feel like you're helping people, validating.
Yeah, what did God do it for? Why did he do it? Why did he do this to me? That's the arithmetic. What are you good at? All right, now, how can you help people with that? So I take pictures of people because that help their day.
That's right. That helps their day.
Yeah.
It helps their day.
Helps their day.
You know, yeah.
The mailman had the test. I cut him up. His body's decomposing in my locker.
I'm gonna read from the Torah now. If I could. It's Friday night, Holmes. Don't touch the light switch.
Shomer Shabbos, bro.
Don't touch the light switch.
Yo, we need Goyam to turn on the light.
It's my day of rest. It's a Sabbath. I don't get in a car. I don't drive a car.
Yo, Holmes, why there's cheese on that burger? Yo, what's up with the lobster? No shellfish, Holmes.
There's a segment of the population that doesn't understand this, but trust me, that was pretty good.
I think everybody gets it.
That was pretty good.
I think everybody gets it.
The light switch was great.
Yeah, man. Man, this bread better be unleavened. All right. You know what? You know why New York bagels are number one? It's the water.
Keep it kosher, dog.
Yeah.
Hey, my payasa. What's up? All right, very good. I just heard that interview. It's just marveling. I just marvel at.
Is he doing anything at this point in his career?
I think it's a tough time. I mean, I do think that he has.
You still see him every once in a while pop up on something or in a movie. Like
I remember him doing press for this movie called Peanut Butter Falcon, but that was a while ago. But haven't seen anything since.
Peanut butter on a falcon is cool. Just don't put cheese on it. Nebula, hello.
Oh boy.
Yeah, because those big gay guys are so scary, right?
No,
when you're out there,
they can be frightening. They can't. They're insatiable. They can't. They just grab you and have their way.
Man, with I've been out with my girl a few times, and we're hanging around, and some guy buys me a drink, and I don't even notice how much he's flirting with me, and she gets mad about it.
Nebula, of course,
I don't
I'm
think
joking.
they're mean at all.
Well, Nebula, of
I
course,
know,
they're not.
I know.
I'm joking. And and listen, I'm a little jealous that guys buy you drinks because I've never.
Twice in the last year.
Well, you must.
I was impressed.
Well, you must be
I got
very
some
good
hair.
looking. Well, that's never happened to me.
I would take that as the ultimate compliment.
Yeah, gay guys want nothing to do with me. They don't. They certainly don't find me attractive. All right,
chasing some ass.
Chasing some ass. From Tatsu.
Shia LaBeouf was in Megalopolis.
Yes, that
that
disaster.
Francis Ford Coppola thing that nobody saw. He spent all his money, sold a bunch of stuff in order to make it, and I don't even know if it was like bad enough for people to see it as a goof.
No, it was. It was long, and the thing is that this is not a hot take. Francis Ford Coppola, way more very bad movies than good. Francis Ford Coppola is a insanely uneven filmmaker. That's not it's not a hot take or a hater take or Fred being cynical. If you went through his movies, there's a lot of really bad movies, like objectively bad movies, not in my opinion. If you took a consensus of critics, they would be considered disasters. Francis Ford Coppola, a lot of decades of bad work in some cases. I think you'd be surprised. I think you would be surprised.
Well, we're gonna. I'll do a deep dive on my own. We're gonna keep it to just directing or producing also.
Oh, well, I wouldn't know about everything he produces. I'm sure he's produced 10 billion movies.
Executive producer of Jeepers Creepers 2.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
boy.
so do count producing. All right. Well, I'm sure you had a relative involved with that. All right. We'll be back in just a moment with Tim Healy talking about the Red Sox.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
All right, here is the deal. There are different ways and different means for you to be better in the bedroom, but there's one way that is easiest, and that is Blue Chew, especially when you're talking about Blue Chew Gold. Blue Chew Gold combines 2 proven ingredients for circulation plus something to enhance arousal.
What's the best way to listen to Toucher and Hardy?
Well, you're going to have to spend $40.
Cough it up, and let's get back to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Drives this one up to left field. It is high. It is gone. Second home run of the spring for Wilson Contreras. A 3-run shot. And the Red Sox take a 4-1 lead.
Is this Joe Satriani or Steve Vai?
It's Prince.
But who's playing guitar, Joe Satriani or Steve Vai?
Yngwie Malmsteen.
No. Yngwie, he don't slow it down like this. Yngwie's, come on. This sounds like Steve Vai. Who was in PIL, who was in Public Image Limited.
Who, by the way, this week are on the 80s cruise.
Oh! Public Image Limited?
Public Image Limited. There's a text chain with the people I was on the 90s cruise with, still going, because downtown Julie Brown is now out there on the 80s cruise. Oh. And one of the other guys who's out there, too, said, yeah, how about a little round of applause for me for getting Johnny Lydon to get on board a cruise ship? And we're all like, that is most impressive. That would seem like a fool's errand, but they did it.
I listened to his most recent book, and I don't think he's much of a dick anymore. I think he's got a bunch of health problems, and his wife died. He'd been with his wife since like 1977 or something.
Oh.
And she was older than him, like 14 years older than him. And she died, so I think that he's calmed down quite a bit. He's not that old. Like, he's not nearly as old as you would think he would be. Like, you would think he would be, at least I thought he was older than he is.
I would think, all right, he's 70.
Yeah, wouldn't you think he'd be older than that?
I was going to say if he were 18 years old in the, 1980, then, doing the,
well, why would
I was going to say late 60s.
But there's no way he'd be 18 in 1980.
All right,
the Sex Pistols were banned in like 76.
Oh, were they that early?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's when they swore on the Bill Grundy show.
Yeah, so he was 20 in 1976.
Right, but it just, when you think of someone who was actively in a band in 1976, I would assume that they'd be like in their late 70s, 80s. Just for me, it's not a big deal. I just thought that he would be older.
Well, then you're making it a big deal, and now it's confusing.
Well, I also don't like you that you're rooting the 8 o'clock bit, because this is what I was planning on discussing the whole time. Was how old John Lydon was.
And how surprised you should be.
Yeah, I mean, I have a whole bit of other guys you'd be surprised about, but I guess that we were never going to get to it now. Tim Healy writes about the Red Sox for the Boston Globe, and he is down there at spring training. Hello.
Hello.
How is spring training going? How are you enjoying Fort Myers?
Spring training has been delightful. We were risking it last week when the temperatures dipped down into the 60s, but back to normal now with highs in the 80s. So the weather's great. It has been for the Red Sox, a happily uneventful spring training, which no news is good news for them this time of year, of course. So pretty normal.
I go to spring training most years, but I'm traveling for Will, so I don't go to Fort Myers. I go to the other side of Florida. But I've never been to JetBlue Park. Do they have like a grounds? Like, if you want to, and a game's going on, are there people working off to the side and stuff, and you can see that?
Yeah, they have a workout every morning, the Red Sox do, on what are called the backfields, which are the practice fields, just like they have in Jupiter for you. And that's open.
No, Roger Dean does not have that. Roger Dean Stadium, where the Cardinals play, is a disaster in its layout. It's a decent park, but like even they have to the clubhouse is located outside of the stadium.
So far beyond.
Yeah, so like everything you can't watch anything, which is the whole point of spring training. The whole point of spring training is not sitting watching the whole game. It's wandering around and seeing people working out on the grounds. So, no, in Jupiter doesn't have that. Port St. Lucie has that, and West Palm has that, but not Jupiter.
Interesting. Well, when I covered the market, I did, but I know under confusion. So I guess hopefully they can straighten that out for you.
No, I don't think they will because, like you said, it's fairly new. And they have a whole, like, entertainment, like, a very minor entertainment complex. And at Florida Atlantic University on the grounds of Roger Day Stadium.
It's a beautiful campus.
What, Florida Atlantic?
Yes.
What are you doing
facetious.
now? Why? It's a beautiful campus.
Okay. I don't remember.
What's going on
way.
with you? Stop trying to be sarcastic so much. You're an earnest guy.
Okay.
Hardy, you're
Fair, I don't mean to throw you off. It's
Sometimes
my
you're being sarcastic. I don't even know what you're being sarcastic about.
Okay.
Yeah, Florida Atlantic. They're in Jupiter. Yeah, they got a nice campus. It's a strange shot to take.
Okay.
No, I don't care about Florida Atlantic. I don't know anyone who goes there. It just it seemed to be a weird thing to take a shot at.
Just being a dick for the sake of being a dick.
My mistake, fellas.
What's the point?
I'm very sorry.
No,
Stop it.
I completely derailed all of this. I apologize.
It was just a weird shot to take. I didn't really understand where that was coming from. You were insinuating it was a dump.
Now Tim Healy's upset.
Okay.
Like, I don't know.
All right. I'm very sorry.
Yeah, like Florida Southern's in Lakeland, and that's a Frank Lloyd Wright campus. You'd think that would be a dump because it's in Lakeland, but it's all Frank Lloyd Wright buildings. Big shots from like Amsterdam go down there to walk around.
Hell yeah, just to look at the buildings.
Yeah.
Don't ask Wallach. He'd say it's a piece of crap.
Well, he doesn't probably even know who Frank Lloyd Wright is. Probably thinks he invented
fantastic architect.
Probably thinks he invented the airplane.
No.
What's the name of his famous house with the water running through
That
it?
I don't know.
That I don't know either.
I don't know the answer to that.
I just know my grandmother.
Tim, you have any ideas?
I have no idea.
Okay.
That's because you're spending too much time watching this, watching the local 9. That's why you don't have time to branch out.
It's falling water. As the water's falling through.
Thank you.
That seems like that would be hard to maintain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But stinky.
Bacteria, mold.
Yeah.
Though everything would be making me nervous.
No, thank you.
All right. So yesterday you got to see our friend Suarez pitch. How did he look yesterday?
He looked good. He looked normal. He finished his full 3 innings, which is what they wanted, which was actually a pleasant change of pace because a lot of Red Sox pitchers in recent days throw too many pitches and don't get enough outs and end up getting yanked mid-inning because they hit their pitch limit. So that Ranger Suarez actually completed 3 innings was a win for him.
Okay. And how hard was he throwing? I'm just curious.
Low 90s as usual.
Okay.
90, 91.
Do you think this is a fairly esoteric question, but do you think that might, because it's just weird that the Red Sox got 2 guys that don't throw very hard. Is that something that is any chance of taking off around the league? Do you think people are going to stop relying on just arms that can throw in the like high 90s, like that maybe there will be a return to kind of being a craftsman, or is this just an outlier?
I think what the Red Sox did this offseason was a little bit of an outlier, even for themselves, because they are pretty obsessed with velocity and helping guys throw hard, and that's true across baseball. The harder, the better. In a more general, big-picture way for baseball, it wouldn't surprise me if, in the medium to long-term future, it comes back around, because all this stuff is cyclical, and if throwing hard means you get hurt, then maybe teams will place more of an emphasis on guys who don't throw as hard but can't stay healthy. In the case of Ranger Suarez, it's super interesting because he doesn't throw hard at all, right? He's got like a 90-mile-an-hour average on his fastball, which is borderline bizarre in baseball these days.
It's borderline bizarre in good high school baseball now.
Yeah. And yet, Ranger Suarez is a very good pitcher in the major leagues, right? 5 years, $130 million. Great in the postseason for the Phillies through the years. And the Red Sox are betting on him providing a different look compared to, let's say, Garrett Crochet, also a lefty, but way bigger, throws way harder. If you throw those 2 guys back-to-back, yes, they're both the lefties, but it's a different approach. It's a different thing that opposing hitters have to handle.
But interesting, Sonny Gray, who most likely is your 3rd starter, also not a lot of velocity anymore.
Yeah, and that's another it's also interesting because despite the velocity, despite him getting older, he still struck out 200 batters last year. And as Alex Cora put it recently, 200 strikeouts is 200 strikeouts. And that's what the Red Sox need. That's what the Red Sox want. So even though it's not blowing guys away, he's still getting them to miss, which is, of course, the entire point.
I saw him pitch his last spring training start last year, and I think he hit 90 like 2 times. And he pitched 3 innings, and he might have hit 90 twice.
That's something.
Well, his secondary pitches are insane, and he can, like, throw it wherever he wants.
Yeah.
But and he keeps guys off balance. But it was pretty funny, especially having a kid who pitches. And I'm like, yeah, look at this. This guy's throw as hard as this guy does.
Yeah.
Like, look at this. I mean, it just shows it. Maybe they'll teach guys to learn how to pitch again. Maybe that's something that they could do. All right.
That would be welcomed, I think.
Well, yeah, and then you get starters that stay healthy. And, you know, there was that chance of a rule change, right? John, what was the rule change that they wanted? They were talking about, like, you had a minimum amount of innings for a starter.
Yeah, a lot of the things were floated, like you have to have the starter 5 innings, so you can't have an opener and empty the bullpen afterwards, that kind of thing.
But, Tim, that's not a ludicrous thing because, I mean, I think it benefits everyone if pitchers are stars again, right? If you know, your team has got 2 or 3 guys that you're very familiar with that pitch the majority of the game that they're pitching on most cases, that seems like a good thing for baseball. You know, those pitching duels and those playoff pitching duels and even regular season, that seems like a good thing. So I'm looking, that would be nice if the league could get back to that.
Absolutely. It's part of the existential debate about baseball and its popularity and how it has evolved on the field through especially recent years, but also recent decade. Because as you said, if starting pitchers pitch, you know, complete games or a lot of innings, 2/3 of the game or more, 7-8 innings, then those guys, it's easier for them to be stars. It's easier for fans to love them. It's easier to sell tickets to those fans to come watch those stars. So if you have an excellent pitcher, let's say Tyler Glasnow on the Dodgers, but he only throws 5 innings at a time and then is hurt half the year, fans are not going to love that pitcher. So if you can keep him healthy and keep him in the game, then yes, that is a very attractive thing if you're trying to build baseball and make starting pitchers sexy again. You know what I mean?
One quick thing, Tim. Now everyone has gone their separate ways to the World Baseball Classic, including the entire starting outfield for the Red Sox. Who is left that fans would recognize in the lineup these days?
Oh, boy. Recognize the lineup. Christian Campbell is going to get a lot of run in the outfield because, as you said, it's wide open. All the regular guys are off to the WBC. Trevor Story's still around, so he'll be in the lineup, particularly for home games. Marcelo Meyer and Caleb Durbin are still doing their second base, third base toggling thing. The Red Sox haven't made a decision there. So most of the infielders are around. Christian Campbell's around. The outfielders are not. Carlos Narvaez is. Garrett Crochet's pitching on Wednesday, so that'll be fun. So it's definitely a lighter camp and a different dynamic with the lineup. This week, the Red Sox have 3 road games that are multi-hour bus trips away, which is not an attractive proposition to establish big leaguers. So those lineups will look particularly light, but home games should be better.
Yeah, the Major League Baseball, Fred, suspended the rule that you had to send a certain amount of major leaguers to road games because of the WBC. So the lineups will be very light.
So I'm sure that the Tigers training or spring training is going to be a real who's who of stars, considering that they're 25 million miles away from everyone in Lakeland. All right. Well, listen, Tim Healy, enjoy seeing the guys that you're seeing. Maybe someone will become a rising star due to the opportunity afforded to them during the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, a couple prospects in the lineup today, so we'll see what they got.
All right, Tim. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, there you go. I got a little caught up in the velocity, but I am interested.
No, the Red Sox are an outlier for every Major League Baseball team.
When they
It's going to be tough developing pitchers like that. If you've got a kid coming up who can hit high 90s, what are you going to do? Don't do that?
No, there's a huge advantage to throwing that hard. My thing is, though, that for baseball, if you look at like the Guardians, they just, believe me, there's a ton of kids all over the place here in Metro Boston that throw in the 90s or mid 90s even. Not a ton that throw in the mid 90s, but more than 10. And the thing is that if the Guardians, they just, have a minor league system full of guys that throw 95, they bring them up, they pitch an inning, an inning a game, they pitch a few times, 3 times a week, and then they blow their arms off and they bring another kid up there.
Tampa's done that for the last decade.
Yeah, and it's just boring. It just sucks. You never get to know the players. You never invested in the players. The games are longer.
Yeah, it's more the scouting level than the Major League Baseball roster at this point. If you start scouting kids that can actually pitch and maybe throw 85 or 90.
Well, 85, they'll tee off on you, but I understand what you're saying.
Yes.
And Sonny Gray used to throw in the mid-90s. I don't think Suarez did, but I'm surprised Suarez made the majors, to be honest with you. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Neemias Queta had the best pro night of his life last night. 27 points and 17 rebounds. Celtics beat Philadelphia at TD Garden 114-98. They're in Milwaukee tonight. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Bruins off until tomorrow night when they host Pittsburgh. The NHL trade deadline is on Friday, and the Red Sox lost an exhibition game to Baltimore in Fort Myers yesterday, 8-7. Ranger Suarez allowed 1 run in 3 innings. Sox will pitch Johan Oviedo against Toronto in Dunedin, Florida this afternoon. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Oakers Technologies. With the football off-season here, it's time to get our team's roster future ready to win the championship. It's also time to get your company's technology future ready with Oakers. Visit okers.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8 o'clock.
More Toucher and Hardy on the... You'll listen to Touch Your
Because it's a thing.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
No idea what you're talking about.
Here's more of The Thing on the Sports Hub.
You guys watch the Combine?
A little bit.
I did. Not good. Not fun to watch.
Not a good TV show?
No, it's I don't know, like with the receivers, with the receiving drills, I don't really know what you're getting out of it, because there were some guys that were like had drops, but also it's not coming from like a jugs machine, so the ball is kind of all over the place. Would you really not draft a kid or even devalue him at all if he had 2 drops during one drill? You know, would you throw away all the tape that you had on him? Like the 40 I get, because then you're measuring true speed and what you can work with. And I understand even that's different because how fast you run in pads and all these things. But I get the 40. And I even get the quarterbacks, which we're going to get into in 1 second. But the receiving drills, it just seemed like a complete waste of time. Like, you know what kids can catch the ball. It just, if that in that one drill they had like 2 drops, I don't really understand it. But I did watch the quarterbacks, and John and I were talking about this off air. The kid Pavia from is not going to get drafted,
Vanderbilt,
which is going to make people happy because he seems like a real dick. What I did see though is Taylon Green. Now, I'd never heard of Taylon Green from Arkansas, and apparently he's not that big a prospect because after he worked out, the reporter from the NFL Network asked him if he wanted to play quarterback in the pros. That's not usually they didn't. I don't think they asked Mahomes that at the combine, and he did throw at the combine. Mahomes,
You're right. To ask a college quarterback if he wants to play quarterback.
yeah. After he just threw at the combine, but
It's almost a disrespectful question.
Yeah.
Well, I gave him an opportunity to answer it. I mean, he seems like a nice guy, but 6'6", 227 pounds. He ran a 4.37 40. He's a quarterback that's 6'6", 227 pounds. This is why they asked him if he was going to play quarterback. That's pretty good numbers for a receiver. That's the second fastest 40 time by a quarterback ever. And then his vertical jump, which means nothing, which is his broad jump was 11 feet 2 inches, which is the highest ever by a quarterback. And his vertical jump was 43.5 inches, which is the highest ever for a quarterback.
Boy.
So certainly a intriguing physical prospect. I don't know if I can think of a better athlete than that. 6'6", 227 pounds. They run a 4.3 40. This is another thing. It's like pitchers throwing 100 now. Mm-hmm. This is another thing, just like 4.3 40s. Remember, like no one would ever run under a 4.4. It's like the 4-minute mile or the 3, whatever the hell mile it was.
4-minute mile.
The 4-minute mile that the British guy broke.
Yes.
It's just one of those things that like once someone does it, like everyone else starts doing it too.
Yeah.
But he is quite an athlete.
God, it's a smooth 42. Like he's
a mid-round guy, right? He's not first or second round pick.
Day three pick.
Yeah, his numbers at Arkansas were fine, but not great.
Yeah, it's just interesting. He's just such a freakish athlete.
That's the thing, and there'll be some talent evaluators say, boy, if we can get a hold of this guy, we can make him a quarterback. We can teach him how to do it. That's what it's about.
And I saw Ty Simpson throw. I saw Drew Aller throw. Ty Simpson's going to end up getting taken in the first round.
By the Jets or not? In the middle of that with that 16th pick.
I don't think they can afford to draft him with the 16th pick because they have 3 picks next year. But people get mad when we talk about the Jets. So
Did you see anyone?
I think the Steelers might take him.
In your hours of combine watching, see anyone like approaching like Joe Milton status in terms of what they can do with their arm?
Oh, like that they can throw it that like that? No, no
that
one like
well,
that.
You know,
we'll throw it that.
Did you
far?
see anyone that good? I should say.
Well, Joe Fagano from UConn put on quite a show.
Oh, okay.
No, I felt bad for him because he was really good. I think he only threw 1 pick or something in college last year, and he must need to have pads on because he was all over the place. You kind of watch it to see who falls apart. And they were making a big deal about it because they're like, they've never worked with these receivers before, and I would question that. That seems like you need to know the guys. But I guess that's one of the reasons that dudes don't throw at the combine. And real quick, we mentioned Pavia, right? Pavia.
Yes, Diego Pavia.
We mentioned Diego Pavia. He, in all 5'10" of him, and with no arm, he decided against running the 40, which I found to be very interesting because that would have just eliminated his draft stock. I got news for you. When you're the 14th quarterback on people's boards, maybe run the 40, maybe do everything they ask of you, maybe go in there and just do everything. Work on running the 40 all off season.
And even if your numbers are not good in a few areas, if you excel at one thing, then maybe a team sees that one thing, and they figure out a way where you might be useful.
Honest to God, he ran for 862 yards this year.
Seriously, if you run, let's just say he runs a 4.5,
right,
or 4.55,
which seems realistic.
That's good enough. If you can't be a quarterback, that's good enough to get you paid. That's good enough to all right, we'll make you a slot receiver. All right, we'll make you a backup running back. I mean, something at 5'10", something. You can find a job in this league if you could run a 4.5.
Yeah, 5'10", 207, you could be a running back. I mean, that's running back size. Third down back. But I just found it very odd that he would put himself in a position where he didn't do anything. Like if I was him, I'd juggle for people. I'd put on a clown nose. I'd do anything. Now, Hardy, you could have helped him with juggling, hand-eye.
Well, it shows some degree of
humility,
ambidextrous. I was going to say it like leanings towards being ambidextrous, and you could, showcase your hand-eye, all that stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and then the linemen do they do shuttle drills.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I can't believe Aaron Glenn fell asleep during it.
Linemen run 40s. I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, what offensive lineman has ever had to run 40 yards in his life?
By the way, this is not about the Jets. This is just about pro football, but it is the Jets coach. Aaron Glenn falling asleep during the combine for a minute didn't go over well in New York.
Really?
No,
New York fans didn't think that was a good sign for their head coach?
Well, the kind of the attitude was, wow, you've done this offseason, you've done a couple good things, and now you've ruined it all because everyone's going to make fun of you again. All right. Listen, Shredfest. That was the combine of Qatar, and that happened right under our noses. Young Nicholas, who has a new child, was out there not asking follow-up questions, apparently, but we will have his audio for you in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy.
right decision every time. You know, he was able to get it going. He had some nice up and unders in the seam and stuff like that helped us propel us to a win.
The Green will visit Milwaukee tonight. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Red Sox lost to Baltimore yesterday 8-7 in Fort Myers. Wilson Contreras, a 3-run homer. Johan Oviedo starts today in Dunedin, Florida against Toronto. And the second-rated prospect in the organization, Franklin Arias, is in the lineup hitting 8th and playing shortstop. Former Sox outfielder Alex Verdugo has signed a minor league contract with San Diego. And in NFL news this morning, Dallas linebacker and former BC star Donovan Ezaraco has reportedly undergone hip surgery. He may miss all of training camp this summer. Houston also this morning has traded starting right tackle Titus Howard to Cleveland for a 5th-round draft pick. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Rodenizer Home Services. You could win a new high-efficiency gas furnace from Rodenizer if your furnace is 10 years or older, outdated, and unreliable. Go to Rodenizer.com/5 free furnaces to enter. That's Rodenizer.com/5 free furnaces. No purchase necessary. Rules online. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Deep three, violent two-hand slam. Wow.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
And we're back. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
How is a man measured? Is it by the strength of his character? No. Character don't matter no more. Is it his physical muscularity? It helps. It is his knowledge of jiu-jitsu and supplements helps, but that's not everything. A man is judged by the way he picks up a 6-string guitar, and not the sounds that come out of it so much as how fast his fingers move.
Right. Does it sound good? Doesn't matter.
No. It's how intricate and technical it is. Again, it's my second time today. It's like Dan Flasher's. It's the complication that's the thing.
How complicated can it be?
Right, like the patterns of a Dan Flasher shirt. That's what the value's based on.
Yeah.
The speed of the fingers is what is how you judge a guitar player, and it was a scene. So Thursday night, our friend Eddie Trunk. Now, this isn't Eddie Trunk's event. Now, this was for charity. You know. So, the good people are doing this. They even advertised on this very station a very little bit, but they did. And at Lansdowne Pub, there was a thing called Shredfest. Did it have 2 guitar players from Alice Cooper? Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Did it have a third guy that I'm not positive who he is? Like I was completely positive of the 2. By the way, the 2, I know way too much about this stuff. The 2 guys that were from Alice Cooper, they flew down together and they dressed up for the occasion. They were dressed like 70-year-old rock guitar players with floppy hats and bandanas. And I just wonder if I'm on that plane. That's got to be pretty funny. Like you go in and there's 2 dudes dressed like it's 1982 on the Sunset Strip. Like they're in the full-on cut, and they're going to Boston.
But they're also in row 23 in middle seats.
I think they might have been in first class.
Come on. How do you know?
Well, I can tell you how I know. I just got a vibe. No, Eddie Trunk, who I follow on Instagram, put a picture up with these 3 guys that seem older than him, and he's in his 60s. You know, a little worse for the wear of these guys. And I was like, who the hell are these guys? But he had tagged them in the post.
Who am I? You don't know who I am?
So I went to the guys' pages, and they both had pictures of both of them on the plane. And there were only 2 seats. They were sitting where there were 2 seats. Now, I don't know if it was a commuter flight. But I got to figure that they, they're jamming out on the West. I imagine they live in Vegas because that's where all old rock guys live now because it got too expensive in California. So most of them, including Eddie Trunk, live in Vegas. So that's what I'm guessing they came from. But anyway, just there is something heartwarming, and I'm not looking forward for the day or the time in our lives when these guys start dying of natural causes. And I don't mean this morbidly. I really truly mean this because there is something comforting about dudes dressed like Rat. Like they're still dressed like they're in Rat. They have long hair, but they're old. They're wearing like eyeshadow.
It'll be the end of an era when they start dying off. Of
And they got
causes.
like a bunch of like trinkets on, and they're wearing like cut off shirts, like cut in a weird way, like super long, big, drooping collar.
A lot of accessorizing going on with the cutting of the shirt and the necklaces and the charms.
And they both had floppy hats on,
right?
Like with brims, but it's super floppy on top. It's not a newsboy. It's like a deflated chef's cap or something. I don't know what it is, but anyway. You see these guys in Alice Cooper's band, and you say, I'm never going to be that guy. How am I going to be that guy? Well, much like at the end of Crossroads, the Ralph Macchio movie, there is a way, and that is to get up and show your stuff, and there was something called Shredfest.
Yes.
And it was hosted by Eddie Trunk, and our own Nicholas was out there.
Right, who went out there to talk to some people, but also to see if he could get something out of the conversation at the end.
Can I bum a smoke?
Oh, this is a game called Can I Bum a Smoke? And it is done at Shredfest with men with floppy hats on and eyeliner. And here is Nicholas out at Shredfest talking to the people.
All right, what's your name?
My name's Matt.
Matt, can we use this for the radio?
Sure.
Right. By the way, Nick just had a son, so congratulations to Nick.
Still nameless. Was nameless a full day after the birth when he alerted us yesterday.
I can't imagine they came up with a name by now.
You're right, though, especially for the second kid. You should have the name.
I think if you know the sex of the baby, you've had months and months and months to come up with the name.
We had to wait because we couldn't decide on the middle name, and then Marcy just made an executive decision. I wasn't even there.
You know what? I had no input into the middle names, and I don't think their mother cared very much about the middle names either. She named Miles' middle name is after one of my grandfathers, and I could have cared less if she had done that a lot or not. I mean, how often do you use your middle name? Unless you're in a rock band, then you have to call yourself something.
Or an assassin.
Like if you're Paul Stanley, you can't just call yourself like Saul Rabinowitz or whatever his real name is.
But if you're Lee Harvey Oswald or John Wilkes Booth, then the middle name becomes
Well, if you
important.
assassinate someone important, of course you have to use all three names.
All right, what's your name?
My name's Matt.
Matt, can we use this for the radio?
Sure.
All right, cool. Where are we?
We're at Lansdowne Pub in Boston.
No, that's not where you are, stupid. You're at Shredfest. I don't care where you're actually standing, the physical building. You're at a vibe.
But this is Nick just needing to know for himself because he forgot.
That's right. He had a kid on the way.
Yeah.
He's trying to think of names the whole time.
We're at Lansdowne Pub in Boston.
Okay, and what's the event?
It's a shredder. It's a guitar concert.
Okay. Did you enter?
I did not. I'm a drummer. I'm not a guitarist.
You're a drummer. Okay.
Yeah, smart. Scout to see if there's any guys that you can sit behind.
100%. That's what Matt's doing there.
Human click track.
Oh yeah, you know.
Yeah, I'll just sit in the pocket, baby. You run wild. You don't even wear an in-ear monitor. You'll just know we're there. You just cook.
Where are you from originally?
So I'm from Pittsburgh, like Worcester area.
Worcester area. Where do you work? What do you do for work?
So I'm a musician. I'm also a lumberjack.
A lumberjack?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm going to guess it's heavy on the lumberjack.
Hell yeah.
I could tell you everything Jesse James Dupree's selling, and there's a lot, because he was on Trunk on Thursday. This, of course, is the Chainsaw Song by Jackal, which is about as good as it sounds. Jackal, not a good band. Big fans of the first Iraqi war, not this one. This is Iran, but the first Iraqi war, they had a album called Cut the Crap, and it was the globe in a dirty diaper.
Yeah.
He said, you want to cross over from your sand into my grass, I'm going to.
Exactly. But Fred, you identified it. The guy is a lumberjack by trade. So this is about to get interesting, right?
Yes. Yeah, I would imagine you have a lot to ask.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what Nick
The
did.
guy's a modern-day lumberjack. He lives in Fitchburg. He's a lumberjack.
Now, you weren't here when I was instructing Nick what to do, and Adam can contest to this. I said, keep the questions open-ended so you can have a conversation with them.
That was word for word what you said.
Thank you.
Yes, I was there for that.
I said, I don't want you to make fun of these guys. I want you just to, like, talk to them. Because it's ultimately just to kind of like have fun with it. I don't want you to like make that. I said this directly. I don't want you to make them feel bad.
Right.
I don't want you to ask them directed questions. I want you to have an open-ended conversation
Give
with
him a
them.
half a dozen questions. These is examples of things you can ask.
Yes,
and
then hopefully this will lead to conversation.
Yes,
but Nick didn't hear that last part.
So I'm a musician. I'm also a lumberjack.
A lumberjack?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Music doesn't always pay the bills, so.
No, definitely not. How long have you been lumberjacking?
2 years now.
2 years?
2 years.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
Active.
Yeah, that's good. That's awesome. So why are you here?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like, how did you get into lumberjacking 2 years ago?
What do you do? What do you mean you're a lumberjack? Do you go out into the forest? Do you like cut down huge trees? Are you out there with an axe? What are you doing for this? So yes, congratulations, Nick. The award for the worst follow-up question ever in an interview goes to Nick Gemelli, who, when he found out someone was a lumberjack, he said, "Do you like it?" He said, "Yeah," and you moved on. Congratulations, Nick.
How about, do you ever use the sweet wood? If you ever get like a piece of old hickory that you turn into a sweet fretboard? I mean, something like that. Or did you ever you make your own sticks?
Your own drumsticks out of the lumber that you cut down.
Yeah. Do you ever make wood carvings of Eddie Trunk? I mean, if I went into your house, how many members of Rat would you have whittled?
The guy's a freaking lumberjack.
I'm also a lumberjack.
A lumberjack?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
My friend Axel in Atlanta was friends with Jesse James Dupree, and he was so proud.
Yeah, of course.
So proud. You know, I go to his house in Kennesaw.
No big deal.
Well, it was a big deal to him. You're a lumberjack. Huh? That's cool.
You like it? Yeah.
You like it, right?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Well, that's a good conversation.
good.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why are you here?
I came to check out the show. Just see what's around. You know, I'm always trying to look for new musicians and just kind of, mingle with people. So.
Oh, so you're hunting for new...
I'm hunting for a guitarist right now. Yeah.
Very cool. This is the place, right?
Sure.
Very cool. All right, man. And finally, can I bum a cig from you?
I don't smoke cigarettes.
Damn it. All right, man. We'll call it.
All right, Nick.
I'm also a lumberjack.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you like it?
Yeah, it's all right.
All right. Well, good job, Nick.
You like it?
Turn around.
That's right, chili guy. All right, and Nick continues with other people.
Let's start with your name. What's your name?
My name is Alice.
Can we use this for the radio?
Yes, of course.
All right.
Alice D.
Alex D?
Alice D.
All right. Why is that?
Well, because my name is Alex, and they call me Alice, and I'm a D.
Okay, cool.
You know, like they say D's nuts. You know what I'm saying?
He's like the clown prince of Shredfest. He's the comic relief.
He didn't have to buy his ticket. They're like, we need this guy here. We need Alex D.
Well, everybody needs a
crowd.
Keith Moon.
Right.
You know, everyone needs a cut up. Oh, you know, in the interview, he's like the Ace Frehley. He's like, he's laughing and having a good time. You know, you got your two businessmen.
Sure.
You got the strong silent type, and then you got the cut up. This is Alex D.
And what brings you to the Lansdowne pub?
The sweating contest. I didn't get to make it into the contest, but they hooked it up with some tickets, and I'm here to see what I was going up against. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So where are you from?
I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
All right.
Yeah, but I live in Worcester.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Worcester, a lot of guys. Worcester, I'm guessing, about 20 years behind the rest of us.
A lot of Worcester people there. And also, I would say that's a lateral move from Albuquerque to Worcester.
Agreed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's about the same market size as everything else. Yeah. You know, Worcester, though, it's one of these areas that I'd imagine like Poison's second record just came out.
It's like like people who move from Honolulu to Las Vegas back and forth. It's like it's kind of the same. Yeah, very touristy, very glitzy, and it's a very superficial place. Albuquerque to Worcester, also a lot of similarities. I can see that.
Very different drug trades, I'd imagine. Yeah. But there you go.
What do you do for work?
I work at the Baylor for the Salvation Army.
Cool.
I throw clothes into a compactor and I make bales out of it.
Great.
Yeah.
So what's your...
Again, what the hell did you... Wait a second. Now, this is maybe me being a little selfish here. I want to know more. You put a bunch of clothes into a machine that, like, turns them into some kind of a bale, and then you do what? Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Great job, Nick. Another completely awful follow-up question. The guy is a baler of clothes for the Salvation Army, and you just, oh, cool.
Well, in fairness, Nick knew people were about to get on stage and start shredding.
Oh, is that why you cut it off? All right.
Well, yeah. He knew that. He goes, he's like, people talk with their fingers there, and not because they can't speak.
That's not ASL.
No. I told you a story about the kid at Lee Weiss that I was in a band with, and when we first met him, they're like, you got to meet this guitar player. And we're like, this is absolutely how it happened. And we're like, hey, Lee, what's going on? And he goes like, womp, womp, womp.
Like, he would just speak through a guitar licks.
Yeah, and he was like 14.
Yeah,
and we're like, so, like, do you live in Farmington Hills? And he's like, skilly-diddly-dee. And he just gave us like a look.
Yeah.
But now he's the king of Bowling Green, Kentucky's guitar scene.
Great. Yeah. So what's your favorite band?
Metallica.
Okay, why is that?
Because they're badass.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Cliff! You got to wear a black armband in honor of the death of Cliff Burton.
All right. Well, all right. What three bands do you think suck?
All right. What three bands do you think he thinks suck?
Okay.
Yeah, I know the answer. So yeah, and I'll give you a hint here. I think he only mentions one.
Are they bands or are they rap?
It's a band.
Oh, okay. What band do you think that he hates, John?
All right. Do you think it's heavy metal or do you think it's like mainstream stuff? Is this guy true to the music?
Well, there's two things that could happen. One, he's so into metal that he's only aware of metal bands.
Oh.
And the other thing would be like, what's the disco equivalent of nowadays? Like when people hated disco when they were total heshers back in the day.
All right. I'm going to say he's true to the music, only likes metal and hates Def Leppard.
Well, there's no way he hates Def Leppard. That's 1,000% not true.
Okay.
I'm going to say that's no. In fact, I would say that he loves Def Leppard.
He's from Albuquerque and lives in Worcester. He loves Def Leppard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he's at Shredfest. I mean, rest in peace to their original guitar player. Oh, boy. Who does he hate? Because he's not going to know any, like, band.
Yeah, that's right. So I'll give you a hint. It's a band that's been around for a long time and within the last year, still very, very big based on what they did the last year or two up until last fall.
Oh, what they did the last year or two up until last fall?
Yes. Huge band, been around for 30 plus years.
The Foo Fighters?
No.
Let's see, Oasis.
Yeah. Yeah. How many pin joints did you smoke in the car before you came in?
Can you expand on why you hate Oasis? I mean, they had a huge reunion tour last year.
Joel are kind of just pricks, and everybody just plays what's it called? Today is gonna be the day. What the is the name of that stupid song? Everyone tries to play that, and it's kind of old, you know.
As opposed to the music in the Shredfest that you're at, which is current as the day is long.
Give him credit. I mean, informed viciousness. He knows what he's talking about.
Today is gonna be the day. What the name of that stupid song? Everyone tries to play that.
All right. Listen, it's 8:26. We have to move on. We'll be back in just a moment with our friend Mark Daniels.
Toucher and Hardy will be right back on the Sports Hub.
Oh, look, it is very cold today. You probably got all excited because on Saturday it got up to be like in the 50s, but that's not sticking around. And March can be very cold. And when that happens, it's serious. It's not just uncomfortable. That's why I got to tell you about AccuTemp Engineering. These guys handle everything from big commercial jobs, and that tells you something. When you can do something that big, imagine what they can do for your home. So the
Hardy continues on the Sports Hub.
Just continue that development.
Will not be here the day after the first round because it falls over the kids' spring break or my daughter's spring break. So I will be out of here. But this is the talk all leading up to it. Mark Daniels, how are you doing, sir?
Hey guys, good morning. Doing well. How are you?
Very, very well. Look, both Vrabel and Wolf have talked. Wolf said that offensive tackle is a need for their team. Kind of talk about how this goes. So say they keep the pick. They take an offensive tackle at the end of the first round. Morgan Moses comes back. Obviously, you have Will Gamble at left tackle. How do you think that goes? Like, if they bring a kid in and he shows in camp, what do you do from there?
You probably, and if Morgan Moses is healthy, what you do is you use him like you did Thayer Munford a year ago. You play him as that tackle eligible tight end to get him some NFL reps, and essentially he's your top swing tackle for the year. I guess the question is, do the Patriots have a good enough roster where they could draft someone in the first round to be a backup in year one? It's debatable, but tackle's a position that you can't mess with. I mean, think about the last 3 years in Foxborough. It was, I think, both sides of the offensive line, just massive holes, right tackle, left tackle. And with Morgan Moses turning, I think he's turning, 35? It might be this week. You do need, really good depth there. And frankly, you have to start preparing for 2027 when maybe he's retired. Yeah. So basically, Thayer Munford, top backup. I think that's how I would handle it.
Okay, but what if they, what if they prove that they're capable of more than that? I mean, you can't just keep them as a swing tackle if you believe they're an upgrade to what you currently have, correct?
Right. So if he, in the event he beats out Morgan Moses, you have to look at the contract. I can do that really fast. A cut post June 1st for Morgan. It's actually not a terrible dead money hit. Is $5.9 million on your cap. You save $4.5 million. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I think if I'm the Patriots, I probably try to target right tackle day 2 in round 2, and sometimes that's difficult to do. I mean, like historically, a good starting caliber tackle goes in the first round. In an ideal scenario, the Patriots land a starter at 31, maybe edge rusher, and they find their tackle of the future in round 2 or 3. That's how my perfect scenario. Which life isn't perfect.
I just think if they take a tackle in the first round, there's a chance they move Will Campbell. I mean, if they take a kid that's a starting caliber tackle, which Elliot Wolf says they're looking at the tackle market. If they take a kid that's a capable starting left tackle, because I mean, Elliot Wolf's like he didn't look as strong in the postseason because of the injury, but then why did they play him? This all just seems very confusing. I'll just ask you this, and then we can move on. Do you think anyway that they're just publicly supporting Campbell, and that there is a belief that, look, if we get a kid in here and he shows that he can play this position, that we will move Campbell to guard?
I don't think so. The people I talked to were, even off the record, were steadfast in their belief in Will Campbell, that he's their left tackle of the future. And in fact, even I heard they wanted to bring back Vidarian Lowe to be their top backup left tackle, which to me signals that they still believe in Campbell, right? Like, if you had questions about Campbell, maybe you aim higher and maybe you do start look more into left tackles into the top end of the draft. But what I heard was, they want Vidarian Lowe to be back to be Will Campbell's backup.
So what do you think the priority is, and does the priority shift between draft and free agency? I mean, they all have to kind of work in concert, but what do you think their top motivation is right now?
Oh, it's 100% edge rusher. They want to sign a veteran edge rusher. They want to beef up their edges on the defensive line. They want to improve their pass rush. And how they're planning to do that is to sign a veteran edge rusher and then draft someone fairly high right now. What's interesting is that they like Jalen Phillips. They like Trey Hendrickson. I think the holdup with those two guys is they're probably going to cost more than the Patriots want to spend. They're estimated to have around $40 million in cap space. I was told by one source there's a chance they could get that around $50 million. But in an ideal scenario, what I was told was they bring in maybe 3 players around the $10 million mark to try to improve their roster in various spots. And I think 1 or 2 of those could be on the defensive line. But edge rusher, guys, is absolutely the priority this offseason.
Based on the information you got in Indianapolis last week, how big a move do you think the Patriots are willing to make in the trade market? What are they willing to spend?
It all depends. I think on A.J. Brown, they like him, a lot of obviously they like him, but I don't think they'd spend a first round pick on AJ Brown. I mean, I think that'd have to be a second or third. I mean, I'd have no problem trading a late second round pick for AJ Brown. With someone like Max Crosby, though, I wouldn't be shocked if they were willing to trade pick 31. I mean, you trade a late first round pick if it's an Pro Bowl player who still has it. The issue I heard with A.J. Brown was his knees. He's 28 years old. He has concerns with both knees, but I think you could argue at 80%, A.J. Brown is still an upgrade. But that's unlike Max Crosby, who's going to come in and be an all-pro player. So I think they would trade 31 for the right player, but, it'd have to be the right deal.
I think for them to be focusing in on the pass rush, like you said, Mark, and an edge rusher, it kind of speaks to them leaning into their strengths right now, which, defensively really showed during the postseason, and also maybe some indecision as to what they're going to do. We started off by talking about Will Campbell and how that is all going to play out. If that's, going to be an area of unknown, I get why you wouldn't want to make any huge moves there, because maybe they really are all in on Will Campbell and they're not lying about it, and they think he's going to be the left tackle and they don't want to move him, but they still don't know. What they know is that the defense is good, and if they can make it even better, then that's going to be the strength going forward while they figure things out offensively.
And this is an interesting offseason because honestly, the free agent class isn't great and the draft class isn't great. So the Pats look at this and say, all right, how can we, beef up our roster in a realistic way? And, for the draft, for free agency, I think we're looking at edge rusher, tight end, guard, probably. They're not going to go out and sign a Milton Williams type player where they're going to give someone a historic contract. And I don't even know if there's a free agent out there that deserves it, that fits for them. For me, an interesting thing was we're talking about Will Campbell, but what do you do with Jared Wilson? And I thought at times he struggled at left guard, and I went into the combine thinking they would target a veteran left guard and move Jared to center, but that doesn't even sound like that's the case. And it sounds like they want Jared Wilson to compete at left guard, but also compete at center with Garrett Bradbury, and it looks like they want to draft someone who could also play guard. So, it's not the greatest free agent class, and I do wonder how Patriot fans will look at this over the next 2 weeks, because I wouldn't be shocked if they make 2 or 3 decent signings at decent depth, but don't make any crazy splash outside of a potential AJ Brown trade.
We've heard a lot of stories from different people about Indianapolis and how information is gathered, late night bar sessions with different individuals from different teams. How do you approach a week in Indianapolis to get your information?
I'm getting too old is what I realized this week. You stay up until it's like people are up until 2 to 4 a.m. and that's not me. I think at 2 a.m.
It's Bert. Yeah,
he's a disaster the next day.
I station myself around a Starbucks in a main hotel where everyone stays. Now I don't work in the media workroom. I work at the Starbucks because that's where everyone is. Everyone needs their coffee. Everyone walks through to get to the conference center. So the Starbucks for me is my main sort of operating place. And when you see someone, you try to walk with them. I mean, I've walked with people. I've seen someone leaving the main hotel, and I've walked with them down the street just to talk to them about the Patriots. I've walked along a corridor and different, they have these skywalks. So during the day, I'm doing that. And then at night, after dinner, coaches' interviews with prospects go to around 11 p.m. So between 11, 12, people will start filtering into different bars around Indy. And honestly, they're pretty centrally located. So there's 2 main bars where they'll be. And that's where you try to meet people. And I think if you're good at this, you are not getting wasted because you don't want to make a fool of yourself. You want to be able to retain information, and it's awkward. I made this analogy, though, to some younger reporters one of my last nights there. Like I'm older, so I didn't have like the online dating app. So what I had to do was approach women in like bar settings to try to get numbers and meet people. And I think in a lot of ways that actually helped me because I'm approaching a scout, a GM, a coach in a bar setting, and they don't necessarily want to talk to me. And it's like, all right, how can I approach them, not seem weird, awkward, and then at the end of the night, can I leave with some numbers? Honestly, that's how I approach it. So I think being a little older and not relying on my phone for dating actually helped me.
Yeah, you're not the first person to mention that. I'm wondering how much hookups are happening. I mean, you're already approaching. You're already in that mindset. You mentioned A.J. Brown. How realistic is that to you?
It's a good question. It's something that's been discussed, but I think Philadelphia has to come down on their asking price a little bit. Like, the Eagles could say, oh, yeah, sure, we're listening. Yeah, you're listening, but if you're asking for a first-round pick or multiple first-round picks, are you really listening?
What about a second-round pick? That's a big contract. Would you give up a second-round pick for A.J. Brown?
Where the Patriots are in the second round, I would, and end of the second. I think he gives you, he gives you an upgrade, and then the question is, can you afford him and Stephon Diggs? And I was told the Patriots think they can if that plays out the way they want it to, which would mean Stephon Diggs restructuring his contract, which I don't know is going to happen, but I think it is realistic. I think A.J. Brown is a realistic trade target for the Patriots. I think he'd work well with Mike Vrabel. The Patriots would certainly welcome him in, and I don't think he'd be a distraction. I think the way Mike has things set up in that locker room, A.J. Brown would fit right in, and Drake May would certainly be happy.
Well, Super Bowl didn't satiate him, so you have a lot of faith in Mike Vrabel. All right, Mark Daniels. You know what? Never lose that player instinct of yours, and keep going up and getting those numbers. Thank you. Read them in Mass Live. Thank you, Mark Daniels.
Thanks, guys.
I would not give up a second-round pick for A.J. Brown
ESPN
under any circumstances.
had a really long notes section about stuff they learned from the combine, and the basic part of it was about Philadelphia. The Eagles are asking for an astronomical price for A.J. Brown, but the feeling around the league is the price point on him is a second-round pick. And that's what they'll wind up with.
I've come around on this, Fred. I would do it, and I would take the chance of whatever upset in the locker room you're worried about, and even with the money, you can't get away with not having a real number one guy.
Yeah, I draft him. And the thing is that I don't doubt.
Because they're so good at that?
I don't. I mean, Belichick wasn't, but the thing is that if I it's not that you would get a better player in the second round, because you won't. It's that it's a ridiculous amount of money, and he's a real problem. I don't care that Vrabel had success with him. He's a different guy now.
And you don't have unlimited cap space this time.
No, and it's
got to be real careful.
I mean, go look at that contract and tell me if you're willing to eat up that amount of your cap space on that one guy.
And
I do it for Max Crosby.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do it for A.J. Brown.
I would absolutely spend pick 31 on Max Crosby if that's it.
And by the way,
second, two first,
but
then no.
And the information that they'd keep Diggs and Brown is ludicrous. There's absolutely no way they would pay both those guys. There's no way in a million years they would pay both those guys. I don't think they could pay both those guys. I think that the Patriots are spreading some garbage, and I also think if they draft a tackle in the first round, that they're at least open to the possibility of moving Will Campbell. I
agree with too, and all the conversation and statements to the contrary could be for any number of reasons, whether it's to keep his confidence up or if they're stuck with him there, they don't want him to feel like he's their second option.
That would make the most sense because they are certainly protesting too much. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics pulled away late. They beat Philadelphia last night at TD Garden 114-98. Neemias Queta, career highs of 27 points and 17 rebounds. Second half of the back-to-back is in Milwaukee tonight. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Red Sox lost an exhibition game to Baltimore and Fort Myers yesterday, 8-7. Johan Oviedo will start today in Dunedin, Florida against Toronto, one of the top prospects in the minor league system. Shortstop Franklin Arias is in the lineup, hitting 8th. And in NFL news, Dallas edge rusher and former BC star Donovan Ezerako has reportedly undergone hip surgery. He's out until training camp, according to The Athletic. Short of a new contract extension, in the next 24 hours, the Jets will place the transition tag on running back Breece Hall. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Boston Vision. Boston Vision helped baseball legend David Ortiz get back to seeing 20/20 again. They can do the same for you. See big like Poppy. Book your free evaluation at bostonvision.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9 o'clock.
thing over and over and over and over. It's just never good. It wasn't funny the first time. Oh, that's right. You wouldn't know him because he's in the hockey show. You like hockey, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So
You like it, right?
So you would watch most things that have hockey in it, correct?
Most things.
Yeah, it's funny how you don't watch Heated Rivalry.
Oh.
You like it, right?
Okay.
Because John, of course, is very homophobic.
He's got a cold, so I'm not going to kiss him.
He watches every documentary that comes out. He can't get enough of sports, scampy sports. But he won't watch Heated Rivalry. But nonetheless, we can move past John's rampant homophobia. But nonetheless, he was the guest host of Saturday Night Live. And one thing that they did, and I don't want to play the audio because it wasn't good, but that's not the point. The Hughes brothers came out during the monologue.
Mm-hmm.
And then two of the women hockey players came out. And I thought that was good. It actually... It wasn't funny, and they're not good at reading the lines, but they're athletes, and who cares? So I didn't want to play it because it's just going to sound awkward, and you don't get the visual, and that's not the point I'm making.
What's the point?
Thank you. The point is that the idea that they appeared together and then they hugged at the end. It shows you that this whole controversy over the laughing at the joke was for naught. That I just thought that was way in a world where a lot of very legitimate things are happening that we can get into off the air. I thought that was just clouding everything up. Again, when you just express, and now they be insulted by the joke. First of all, if the women can be insulted by anything they want, it was about them. But in terms of public outrage, you start outraging at everything. It clutters up everything, and now it's just a sea of white noise. And I thought that was very unfair during a celebration to go after the men's hockey team. And every email that I've gotten that has been rationally, kind of opposing that view brings up a bunch of other stuff that had nothing to do with that particular thing. It brings up the State of the Union, or it brings up something that Trump said. And that's not the issue. You have to. The issue is them laughing at something over a speakerphone during a celebration. And I did think that the four of them out there together. The women got a much larger pop than the Hughes brothers. There was a little joke. They said they only invited us to come out, but we decided that we'd let you come too. A little light joke at the expense of the whole thing. And obviously, it was quite obvious that all four of them knew each other. And I don't doubt for a second that they all hung out. The U.S. men's team stayed in the Olympic Village, as did the women's team. I believe they were at each other's games and stuff. I find it very difficult to believe that there was a real animosity between those people. It seemed very
forced,
manufactured, forced outrage. When there are things that depend on any way you look at the world, there's things to be upset about, and this was not one of them, in my opinion.
That Jack Hughes still doesn't have that tooth fixed.
Oh, he's too busy touring around.
I know.
He's too busy making public appearances at this point.
You know who's not popular in Canada? Mr. Mitch Marner. The Toronto Maple Leafs fans not so happy about they lost. Toronto's lost two, or at least I don't know what they did over the weekend, but they had lost their first two games after the Olympic break. And people were not happy about Marner not being back at practice.
Oh.
They were looking at it a whole different way in Canada. If you were from Team USA, they did not like that one bit.
Yeah, they got blown out in both games.
Yeah,
Panthers and Senators beat them. Yeah.
So people are not overly excited. And by the way, if you're a Bruins fan, you want Toronto to start winning a little bit because if they get a top 5 pick, you don't get their first round pick. So you want them to win at least a little bit. But I did think that was nice. I watched it on YouTube, this new thing. I watched the thing, and I actually found myself smiling a little bit because I said, this is...
Did you find some joy?
I wouldn't describe it as joy. I would describe it as I was
something that you've read joy is about?
I'm like Spock in that issue.
When's the last time you experienced joy, would you think?
Oh, and you're not charging me. Okay, I don't know. I don't know the definition of joy.
Wow, that's interesting.
A light contentment.
Let me make a note right here.
Well, that's the first step to it. The light contentment. Right?
I don't care, but if you two could both identify just a yes or no question, the last time you experienced joy.
Sure.
Okay. John?
Yes.
And it was recently?
Yes.
All right, now I got to know what yours was, John.
I was watching my son play basketball. He had a really good game, and he was very happy with himself afterwards, and I was very happy for him. So, to me, that's joy.
Wait, what happened?
My son, who plays basketball at a low level, had a really good game, including made a couple of threes. He had worked on his three-point shot, and it was good to see all that work pay off.
Okay,
and
so
I was happy for him.
And you would describe that emotion as joy.
It was, yes. For me, it was joy.
So maybe I have experienced joy. I don't know. It's hard to pinpoint. It's an emotion. It's a feeling. It's every individual experiences it differently. I think I'm a deeper thinker than you guys, and maybe that's where the issue's coming through.
Yes.
But so check it out. No need to watch the monologue. Not funny.
Mm-hmm.
But that wasn't the point.
I just pulled up the clip and saw him hug at the end. They're all about the same height too.
Yeah, the Hughes brothers. Hughes brothers not large individuals.
No.
I can tell you that much.
It's not good.
Yeah, hockey's weird that way. It's an everyman's game. It certainly is. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
All right, today's my testosterone replacement day. The way that I've chosen to supplement my testosterone levels is a weekly shot that I give myself that I do not find difficult to do. And that is through Northeast Men's Health. Gentlemen, as we age, we get the muscle is not building as much. The sex drive can lag. The energy certainly might not be there. And starting in our 30s, we lose testosterone at a very, very great rate as we age. And there is a way to supplement this and fix this and get the vigor of youth back, and that's through Northeast Men's Health. Call them today at 617-793-5000 or visit northeastmenshealth.com. Make an appointment at one of their 6 locations across the Northeast to serve you.
mouth, rolling the whole time, and lets Eddie know that he's rolling the whole time. So really, this is just a conversation. This is really more of a fly on the wall type of situation than it is a famous Nick Gemelli interview.
I hope that Nick didn't embarrass me. Because this is as close to Eddie as I'm probably ever going to get.
Probably.
I was so close to going out there for that thing, just to see him. I had a button-down shirt with a T-shirt on underneath it, with all the buttons undone, but I didn't know.
Was it a black shirt with the buttons on it?
It doesn't really matter as long as it's.
It kind of matters.
Loose.
You don't want to wear anything light
Oh,
color.
I wasn't going to dress gay if I'm going to a metal show and wear some crazy color. I'm being sarcastic, making fun of the how impossibly stupid that comment would be to really make.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Eddie. All right, here we go. Here is our own Nicholas with Eddie Trunk, and if he embarrasses me, he's never coming back from this leave.
This is recording right now, just to let you know. And it's wireless. It goes to the mic. It's really nice. I'll take the.
I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, it's Rode.
By the way, Eddie's not. There's no band playing. That's just how when you talk to Eddie, he just has that playing in the background at all times.
That's the sound that just accompanies him.
He exudes rock and
You
roll.
know how super fat people have a trombone or a tuba playing behind them, or basically a tuba. Boom, 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 boom. That's like what Eddie just has, a sweet kick-ass rock band playing.
Right. But Eddie very interested in Nick's recording.
Yeah,
device.
it's an iPhone, so he was a little
It's
perplexed by.
so much more than that.
Oh, okay.
It's really nice. It sounds great. So.
And it's made to sync with iPhone?
iPhone with the USB-C. So anything with the USB-C.
Oh, they're talking gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, let boys be boys. All right, you two. Let's talk gear. You know? This reminds me about the time that I saw Rick Savage, and we started talking about cabinets. Not cabinets in your kitchen, but like...
No. Stacks.
Yeah. Peavy? He was like...
Marshall.
Yeah. Well,
So you put, I see you're plugged into the bottom.
Yeah, I'm plugged in at the bottom.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So if you were doing say you were doing a Zoom or something, you could use that for the audio as well to be better than the external mic.
I can't believe he's talking to Eddie. And
I know.
It's so cash.
It's just they're just hanging out.
Oh my God. I wish Nick was here so I could have him spit in my mouth so I could taste Eddie. If there was any Eddie still left on him, if I could lick his face to taste Eddie.
Oh.
Did Nick wipe his hand on him or anything? Is there any DNA of Eddie anywhere? Just two bros talking gear at a rock show.
I'm so jealous right now. It's great to see.
I mean, I've turned green.
Oh, this is an iPad. I can plug that in. And
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
And does it connect on Bluetooth too, or you got to go in?
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, it outsmarted Nick.
Yeah.
Eddie got you,
Yeah.
but that's okay. I mean, he's the alpha.
Yeah, it is nice. So, just say,
Yeah, Nick, what radio station are we, and who are you talking to? I could see the huge pause.
What show do you work for?
Yeah.
What station do you work for? I'll give you a hint, Nick. It's the only radio station you've ever worked for.
Who's your father? Name that, Nick. Yeah. Thank you.
just say, they're wrapping up. All right.
That's the breakdown part of the song, though, so it's going to come back in. And
Yeah, idiot.
Yeah. Sit tight, bro. I've
It's
I've
the
been through
Who
this
won't
thing.
get fooled again. This song ain't over by a damn sight. Oh, is it wrapping up? No, it's not, idiot.
It's like when you take a girl to like her first hockey game and she goes, why'd they just blow the whistle? And you describe icing to him. Eddie's been through this dance before,
Right.
Like I know don't worry, they're gonna kick back in.
Oh, is it over? No, this is the second intermission.
Yeah, Danielson, you sit tight. Right. This is called a bridge.
That's the breakdown part of the song, though, so it's going to come back in a minute.
He's so smart.
So we'll do. Hey, this is Eddie Trunk, and you're listening to Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Zone.
Toucher? like Toucher and Hardy.
My stupid name. Oh, Eddie. He doesn't know us? Who was I kidding?
It's humbling, I know, but
no,
you wouldn't expect him to.
No. But it was always. It's almost. But I hate that it's now over. That any illusion of it's gone. You know, I didn't assume or even think that he knew who we were or who really is selfish, who I am.
But it would have been a nice surprise to find out that he did know.
Yeah, I'm almost pissed that you guys gave me this audio. It's almost like you did it on purpose just to hurt me. But okay. Okay.
Toucher, like Toucher and Hardy.
On 98.5, the Sports Hub.
The Sports what?
The Sports Hub.
Nick, tell him it's my real last name. Don't make him think that I'm some clown.
Sports Hub.
Yeah. So
he's a Giants fan.
Hi, I'm Eddie Trunk.
Hi, this is Eddie Trunk, and you're listening to Toucher and Hardy on 98.5, the Sports Zone.
There it is. Every hour on the hour, Adam.
You know what the problem is that Eddie's in the zone, his own zone, the metal zone.
Sports Hub.
Sports Hub.
So try it one more time.
Yeah, no, I wasn't doing it for real anyway.
Okay.
No, that was.
That's a dry run.
That's a dry run, stupid.
Yeah.
Sit tight and let me
you can
work.
roll tape on the rehearsal if you want to, but that wasn't a real tape.
Yeah, this is all going to end up on the cutting room floor, you fool. Let Eddie go. During the breakdown. Let him do it during the breakdown. The breakdown's almost over, but Eddie knows when it ends.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Eddie Trunk, and you are listening to Toucher and Hardy on 98.5, the Sports Zone.
Sports Hub.
Sports Hub. What the f***?
Eddie, you self-deprecating fool.
Sorry, guys.
That's okay, buddy.
Don't
That's
you worry
okay.
about
Don't
it.
worry.
No.
This is still a treat.
One more time.
Look at the mic, the visual.
Yeah.
Sports Hub.
Oh, the mic says Sports Hub on it and he still doesn't know?
That's not good.
Oh, what if he was illiterate? Like all his listeners.
Oh.
Don't. Now you ruined it.
Well, now I'm lashing out back at him for not knowing me. I'm sorry, Eddie. That was my own insecurities.
Some big party songs being yelled at.
Oh, yeah.
Eddie knows everything. Did he grab? Do you think he grabbed Nick's hand and was like, "Shh, it's okay." It's like turbulence on an airplane. It's okay.
Grabbed his hand or just put his index finger across Nick's lips.
Shush.
Don't speak.
I want you to close your eyes and just feel it.
Some big party songs being yelled at.
Oh, yeah.
Nick, you didn't know what he was going to do,
No.
stupid. You just shut your stupid mouth and let Eddie talk.
How you liking Boston?
It's great. I get here very infrequently for some reason. I'm from New Jersey. It's weird.
Yeah, we know. We know that. But thank you for pretending that we don't. He's so humble.
What else do you know about him? New Jersey and where else?
Vegas.
Okay, well.
He does this show from Vegas. What do you think I'm... Duh.
The song's going to end in a minute. We can do it in the break.
Yeah.
He's got all the time for Nick. This is how he is with everyone, I bet.
Are you out of here tomorrow or are you sticking around?
I go back to New Jersey tomorrow.
Oh, all right.
Go back to Vegas. I live in Vegas.
Oh, wow.
And Jersey. I go back and forth.
God, Nick is so dumb. I've said that so many times.
I had the same.
He doesn't know.
I'm like,
He doesn't
Just, I wish Nick just would have been like, yeah, I know, we're big fans. I bet you Eddie doesn't even know that we're fans. He just thinks we're another group of schlubs asking him to do a station ID.
Right. Oh, you live in Jersey and Vegas? Huh?
Great.
Yeah. First time hearing of it.
I would have been like, yeah, I know. How is that? You know, I would have asked him a follow-up. Like, do you know Jakey Lee when he walks his dog? How was Ronnie James Dio's funeral, the real one that you were at,
Right.
not the fake one? See, these are all things I would do. What's UFO up to? These are the questions. But listen, I don't expect Nick to know all that. He doesn't study the man like I do.
For you. And like I said, Fred and Hardy, they're obsessed with your show. They love it.
Oh,
Oh.
Are we? Are we?
Or is it just Fred?
Of course. All right. That's what we're doing now.
Do you want to start the paperwork on Nick while he's away on paternity leave? It's going to be problematic. Difficult to fire somebody when they're taking approved time off, but it can be done.
I'm going to sit in your front lawn, and next time the trash guys come by, I'm going to go, we're both big fans. Me and Harvey. No, I'm the fan, Nick.
No, as far as Eddie knows, we are. We're big fans of his show. We're obsessed.
Watch him send you the glossy photo and not Fred. Oh, that would be crushing.
Why would you even say that?
And like I said, Fred and Hardy, they're obsessed with your show. They love it. They love it.
Cool. I appreciate that, really.
Very cool.
All right, let's do it. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Eddie Trunk, and you were listening to Toucher and Hardy on 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Excellent.
Cool.
We finally got it.
Did you give that to the powers that be? Beasley can run that anywhere. You can just use AI to put in your any show's name.
No, we're using it just for us.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Eddie Trunk. And you were listening to Toucher and Hardy on 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Great.
Do you think Felger and Maz want one? Do you think anyone else is going to be pissed? Do you think Dundero would want one for the weekend? Who else? I mean,
get one for the hockey show. Get one for the Sports Hub Golf Club. Get one for the baseball reporters.
You know what would have been
Sports
funny?
Hub Golf Club.
That would have been actually kind of funny if we went. I didn't know he was going to ask him for an ID. I don't know why he did, but like that
like
would
the
have been
2-page different.
If he just did every single show, like on the Sports Hub, and he's like, do you have time?
And you're listening to the Revolution Report on 98.5 the Sports Hub.
Or even better yet, if he was like, we're the home of the Patriots games. Could you give us an idea? Like, I'm Eddie Trunk, and this now it's the fourth quarter for the New England Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you just had him read liners for like all these like super important things. Like, if they make the Super Bowl next year, like, what was last Super? It was Super Bowl 60 last year.
I've lost track.
But if you were like, say it was.
Yeah, it was 60.
Okay, hey, this is Eddie Trunk, and you're listening to Super Bowl 61 on 98.5 the Sports Hub.
Just for every conceivable scenario. Hey, it's Eddie Trunk. Before we get underway with the second half between the Revolution and DC United, I just want to say you're listening to 98.5 the Sports Hub.
You know how CNN had that one like video that you can watch on YouTube from back in the day? What if he was like, "Hey, this is Eddie Trunk, and North Korea has just launched nuclear arms." Hey, this is Eddie Trunk, and the Queen is dead. All right. Well, there's a lot of things I don't like about that, but I do like to know that Eddie is very humble.
The breakdown part of the song, so it's going to come back in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, Nick texted us, and he said Eddie touched his shoulder at the point when he was asking about my name. Well, I would
Gonna need that shirt, Nick.
Yeah.
Before it goes in the laundry.
Yeah. That shirt, in about 2 months, if he gives me that shirt, you're going to be able to hear it snap when it hits the floor. Let's just say I'll be humping it. If you didn't get the first reference.
I got it. No, I got it. We all know.
Yeah. I'll make a fifi out of it.
We all understood.
No, I don't know. You can't overestimate the audience. I'd fashion a fifi out of it.
You just shove it between the mattress and box spring and have it.
No, I would make something more portable and malleable, so I could use every part of my body to operate it. All right. Well, thank you, Nicholas. He's listening right now. So congratulations, Nick, on your child. But more often, I congratulations on the birth of a relationship with you and Eddie Trunk. All right. We'll be back with our award-winning email segment in just a moment. I wish Nick was here so I could have him spit in my mouth so I could taste Eddie.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 the Sports Hub.
Oh, have you been hurt?
And you were listening to Toucher and Hardy on 98.5
The Sports Hub.
You know, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
All right. Blind Scott says he's only messaging Adam from now on. He wants to work on the show. He'll work for less than minimum wage.
Oh.
He's going through Adam from now on because I want you guys to respect me and not think I'm some lunatic that spams. Yes, Blind Scott. Yes, thank you.
He also said he's happy for Nick and the baby, and he said, I hope it's really healthy. As opposed to just, average baby healthy. I hope it's really healthy.
Yeah. So, listen, Blind Scott, if you've ever been hurt in an injury at whatever you do, Jeffrey Glassman Injury Lawyers are who you got to call. If you've been hurt in a car or work accident, you got to get Glassman. Don't just send an email. Call all sevens at 617-777-7777 or visit gottagetglassman.com. Now, Hardy, John is... now, you can email us. You can find our emails at 985thesportshub.com. You can follow us on social media at Toucher and Hardy, at Hardy985. And you can follow me solely on Instagram at Fred Toucher. And it's funny because I'll have friends who screenshot things from Twitter and send them to me, not like bad things about me, just that things are written about me. And I realize that I don't need to know any of this stuff. I don't resent that the people send it to me. And I like it because they obviously care about me and they're sending me stuff. But I realize I'm not missing much on this Twitter. It's all information either that's not true or I know, so it's good. But John, John rubs elbows with different people than we do, Hardy, and I think it's because he's considered more of a legitimate sports personality. He's more buttoned up. He's got his precious little Celtics thing. Mm-hmm. He's got his gig at Bryant, which is a wonderful university. Mm-hmm. He's knee-deep in that athletics program, which we all appreciate. And, Johnny, you got an email from a peer, not a peer of us. Now, John's the only one who got this email. Mm-hmm. And, now, it's funny or it's ironic that we just played Nick saying that Hardy and I are both fans of Eddie Trunk, thereby confusing and muddying the waters for me to ever become peers with Eddie Trunk, who's truly peerless, but now you are getting exclusive emails just to yourself. All right, who is this from?
This is from John Marks, who hosts the midday show on our sister station, The Fanatic in Philadelphia. We were talking about A.J. Brown with Mark Daniels before, and John, who listens to this show pretty regularly, says A.J. Brown...
Which is telling, because he's in Philadelphia, but he listens to this show. Mm-hmm. Just shows you that it's number one. Go ahead.
Nationwide.
No.
A.J. Brown is definitely not a locker room problem. I know the social media stuff and everything else, but everyone I ask in the Eagles organization from top to bottom, they love A.J. Brown. The players, the front office, the owner, everyone kind of knows what the problem is. It's with Jalen Hurts. I've heard Albert Breer talk about it on your show before. He's not the easiest to get along with and is very aloof. Guys deal with it because he's a hard worker and a winner, but he doesn't connect with anyone.
Then what's going on with A.J. Brown when he pouts and says things online? I don't quite get it.
That would be my next question.
Right. Like, I don't think anyone speculated that he's a bad person. Like, these seem like two different issues. And I appreciate him listening, and I really do appreciate him emailing you. But I do have some follow-up questions. Like, I was never under the assumption that, like, he's a problem as a human being or as a member of society.
Well, remember,
I can only go by his constant complaining about football.
Kind of acted out for the second half of the season in its entirety.
Yeah, and that wasn't reports that he was acting out. That was him in his own voice via his own means acting
Anytime someone shoved a microphone in his face,
or
basically.
He would go online and say things.
Yeah.
So, like, I am legitimately not sarcastically, like, and not demeaningly interested in what exactly that means, because I know I can speak for myself. I didn't say I don't know if I'd want to get A.J. Brown because he's a horrible, murderous, fascist. It was more like he seems to not be happy a lot.
regardless of what circumstance he's in. The man won a Super Bowl. He's still not happy.
Yeah, you would, and then again, it was worse because you almost understand you don't like it, but it's more understandable. I still don't like it because my view is if you're a star player and you're on a team that's not winning, then you start winning. Like you're on the team, like that always hasn't made sense to me. In football, it's a little bit different because there's very little control you have if you're not the quarterback. But like in basketball, when people like, I want out this team, well, they're only playing 5 at a time, and you're one of them. So you go win. Like you start it. You understand what I'm saying? Like that always bugs me. Like, basketball, especially because there's the fewest amount of people. Baseball, a little bit too. Like if you want to win, then fine, start winning. They have a stat for it, WAR. I mean, go be the best, have the best WAR in the league. Be responsible for victories. Go do your thing. That's always bothered me. But I would like to know more information about that because, I mean, he complains a lot. It just seems that he does. He
whether it
sulks
be
and
about
complains.
about the quarterback or when he was in Tennessee, the players around him. It always seems to be something after a while.
Well, yeah, and and also
By the way, that's a reputation Diggs had when he got here.
Oh,
so
that doesn't prove my point, but it does speak to maybe the attitude that a player has a lot to do with the culture inherent in the locker room and with the team. And Diggs has been, by all accounts, an upstanding teammate. And everything seems to be working out.
But I will ask you this. Diggs, okay, and that's all true, and maybe he is like become this incredible person, incredible teammate. Diggs was also coming off a major injury and is old. So I think there was a little incentive there and also it usually takes receivers a couple years to break in an organization, like starting to get fed up. It's usually not the first year.
And the culture with Philadelphia turned out to be pretty good. I mean, they won the whole thing, and it wasn't 5 years ago.
Yeah, you got your coach yelling at fans on the sideline, and you got you've got a quarterback that sometimes is engaged and other times isn't engaged. You can make a lot of excuses if you don't want the guy or you think it's too much money. I think A, they can figure out a way to make the money work, and B, you have an offense right now that has one real player on it, one in your quarterback. If you want to take the opportunity, while this window appears to have opened a little earlier than anyone had anticipated, you're going to need at least one real offensive player on this team.
Then let's expand it past his contract, which is ridiculous, or his attitude. He turns 29 in June, and is he the elite receiver that it's worth taking on all that money and giving up future assets for? Is he the guy? Just statistically, is he the guy? I can give you, his last 5 games of the season. 3 receptions for 25 yards, 5 receptions for 68 yards, 9 receptions for 95 yards, 2 receptions for 41 yards, and 6 receptions for 100 yards.
Yeah, if you want to go with the recency bias and what he did in the last few games of the season, how many thousand...
That just is just in front of me.
I know. How many 1,000-yard seasons has this guy
he's
had?
been very good. It's just like, do you think you're getting him at the very top? Do you think that the next 3 years of A.J. Brown is what you want to devote your entire wide receiver room to?
What did Mark Daniels tell us? Bad knees? Knee problems?
We've heard that from everyone. He has knee problems.
The other part of this is how much are you willing to spend on him? And Mark Daniels told us this last hour, and I agree with him, if they'll take an end of the round 2 pick for him, then fine. But nothing more than that.
You still have to pay him.
All right.
And and I'm convinced you can figure out a way to pay him.
You can, but you're giving up this is your guy. This is your number one receiver.
Right. Would he be, if he stepped on the team right now, the best receiver?
Well, yeah, a lot of people would be, yes.
Yeah. See, and if you're holding out for a guy, a guy who's going to be entering his prime or in his prime. Well, those guys generally don't become available. You know, we was doing the thing on Friday when we were talking about like the wish list of receivers over on Early Edition. It's like, well, if you could have anybody, well, you can't have anybody. That's the point. Who can you get? Who can you get right now?
Well,
AJ Brown
you don't want to operate like that. You don't want to operate like, well, we're really limited in who we can get, so we just got to take who's available.
Sometimes you have to if you want to improve. It's maybe not the perfect situation, but is he going to be an improvement? Yes.
So where
absolutely.
they are as a team, you think that he's the guy. Like so you think this team, if they get him, has an opportunity to go back to the Super Bowl, is what you're saying, and I'm not saying you're wrong.
No, I think this team it would automatically be improved offensively if you added him to the roster.
Well, certainly, yes, but I mean, if you added almost anyone at receiver, it would improve the roster, and like anyone who's decent. So he is owed. Is this right? His cap number is $23 million next year, $22 million in 2007, $27 million in 2028, $29 million in 2029, and $53 million in 2030, which I gotta believe is not a real year.
Yeah.
So he had signed a 4-year, $100 million extension. That was the Titans. The Eagles signed Brown to a 3-year extension worth $92 million. The contract is $84 million guaranteed. $16 million of that guaranteed is new money. Blah 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 blah. It's a lot of money. Is all I'm saying.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money to bring him in. And I don't know if that's the guy you want, but it certainly he certainly would improve them. But I think that there's a bunch of how many teams in the NFL have a receiver that's better than anyone the Patriots have? Most. There's probably 3 or 4 teams that don't have as good a receiver as you have.
I don't even know if
I
it's
could
that
look
much.
at my computer, but
Right.
it's completely
Oh,
broken.
no. It's a huge imbalance there.
Yeah. I mean, you could go team to team, Mike in the Mad Dog style. But, I mean, in the division, Buffalo doesn't, so you got that, unless you think Keon Coleman.
Well,
like
Buffalo,
Brady stood on the table for him.
according to that huge notes column from ESPN, you kind of add up what they're talking about. Mike Evans might be in play to go to Buffalo.
Mike Evans might be in play to go to the Patriots. It'd be based on what he said he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Evans might be in play to go to the Patriots, and Mike Evans is really old. Won't cost you that much money, but Mike Evans, of course, is a improvement on any receiver that you have on this team currently.
Mike Evans does not have a lot left, though.
Yeah, now you're talking 32 years old.
No, but you're not in Mike Evans. You're signing him for basically a year.
Yes.
So and at a much less money. No, Mike Evans isn't someone that's going to be around during this. He's going to grow with the team and be around for a long run.
It's not part of building the program.
No, but Mike Evans is a very low risk proposition, just like Diggs was last year.
But this is also what you get to, what Bert was talking about, how you got to be careful because it happened with the Commanders. It can happen with the team very easily. A young team can get old very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do a couple of signings like that, all of a sudden this young team that has emerged and exceeded well ahead of the scheduled expectations, all of a sudden you got an old team.
Well, if you trade for Brown, you're getting way older because you're giving up draft capital and you're bringing him in. You can't get rid of him.
That's something Mike Vrabel was talking about at the Combine. Where's the core of the team? The core of the team is through the draft, and it goes back to what we were talking about. You sign, you develop, and you re-sign. You draft, you develop, and you re-sign. That seems to be the direction that Mike Vrabel wants to point this team in.
Like, if you were going to give up, and I understand no one you get in the second round is going to be as good as A.J. Brown. The chances are infinitesimal that they would be. It's not really the pick. It's giving up a pick to give that guy that kind of money in a capped league. It just seems like a huge investment on someone for numerous reasons. I don't know if that's who I want to invest all my money in. I'd much, much rather give up a first-round pick to get Max Crosby.
And I agree with you there. Yes.
I would do that too. But if that doesn't happen and you've got money to spend and there's a way to improve this team, all right, instead of leaning in on the defense, which seems to be the strength right now, let's do something beyond just picking up another tackle in the draft and running back, as some people seem to think. They're going to start, trying to change things around there. Get somebody out there for Drake May. There's more than one way of protecting the quarterback, and one of them is to have somebody that he can throw to that can get open.
You have to remember, too, he wants off Philadelphia. There's just a lot. There's a lot about that I don't like. But it's a big name, and that's what's exciting about this time of year is big names. But when a team's unloading someone for that kind of money, that's a lot.
Can they find another Spillane in the draft? That's all I want to know.
No. Those guys are rugged street free agents. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics pulled away. They won for the 11th time in 13 games last night. 114.
Stack my place. It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy, and it is time to finish things up. Hardy, do you have anything for us?
Yes, today's stack will be devoted to an exercise testing Fred's assertion that Francis Ford Coppola has made more bad movies than good. So, we'll skip over the first couple, and we'll, because, the first films, I don't know.
They're like art films or something, like
well, who
student
knows?
films.
But we'll start with his first three, The Godfather, The Conversation, and The Godfather Part 2. Are these good or bad movies?
I'm unfamiliar with The Conversation.
It's Gene Hackman. It's excellent.
Okay, so I'll take your word for it.
All right, so we got three goods right off the bat. Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, it's considered a very good movie.
There we go. One from the Heart. I have no idea.
Let's assume that's not good.
Let's say that's bad. The Outsiders. Good or bad movie?
Oh, man. That's not a very good movie.
Oh.
I mean, was it?
How about this?
Was it
I'll
successful?
if you give me the
was?
If you give me the Outsiders.
We know that. No. You guys are nodding like you know it was successful. Like we have no idea if that made money. And not that that's what we should be judging this on.
Well, then
Find
let's
the Outsiders is a good movie.
If you give me The Outsiders, I will give you Rumblefish as not a good movie.
Well, Rumblefish is a disaster.
All right, so that's bad.
But no, because The Outsiders, I'm saying if any clout that movie has is based entirely on how it was cast, and that book rather, is like required reading for most kids in the United States.
$25 million box office on a $10 million budget.
Okay, what is that?
Who knows?
I don't know what that means.
It's already. It doesn't
Where
matter.
does it rank in the year that it was released?
It's already on the good list. We're moving on. The Cotton Club in 1984.
It's a disaster. The Cotton Club was a disaster. That's a famous disaster of a film. No, seriously, research it.
It did poorly money-wise, but critically acclaimed.
No. The Cotton Club.
Roger Ebert, 4 out of 4 stars. It was nominated for multiple awards.
There's a book out. What are you Jesus, John, what's going on over there?
I was coughing. I apologize.
You're laughing and carrying on. The Cotton Club there's a book written about what a disaster it was.
You're thinking of Heaven's Gate.
No, I'm thinking of the Cotton Club, and I'm telling you that it was made for some.
Are you thinking of Cotton Eye Joe? That's a bad song.
Oh, now you're just going to be wrong about songs.
You know what? For you, Fred, I'm going to put it on the bad list.
No. I want to explore this because it's quite well documented as being a huge disaster. Like it went way over budget, and it kind of killed his career in a way.
Well, he made up for it in 1986 with Peggy Sue Got Married, and that, I will assert, is a good movie.
That's a good movie.
Gardens of Stone, who knows? Let's call it bad.
Yeah.
Tucker, The Man in His Dream.
Bad.
Very good movie with Jeff Bridges about the automobile maker. That is a good movie.
No, John disagrees.
No,
That's
not good.
Majority rule.
Not good at all. Hated that movie.
Bad.
Terrible movie. Bad movie.
Godfather Part 3.
Bad.
Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Bad. But
it is bad.
You know that what's his face? The guy who just died wouldn't be in Godfather 3. He refused to be in it.
Robert Duvall, because
Yeah.
he wouldn't get as much money as Al Pacino.
Right, and he said it was a money grab, and if it was a money grab, he wanted as much money.
The movie Jack.
Bad.
With Robin Williams. That's probably bad. The Rainmaker. That's a pretty good movie.
What movie is that?
That's the one about Matt Damon as the lawyer and the getting over on the insurance company.
I've never even heard of that movie.
Is that Danny DeVito too?
Danny DeVito's in. That's a
Yeah.
good movie.
Now he's just working on his own.
Well, you didn't see it. Youth Without Youth, who knows? Probably good. Tetro, Twixt, and Megalopolis. Let's split those.
Suffice
we'll
it to say that the career was not
Good.
shining after The Godfather. Yes,
And-
Scott.
Oh, he's still reading good. Like he's got another one.
You know what, Fred? At best, 50-50.
Yeah.
50-50 good, bad.
It's not like
calling.
Scorsese.
I tried calling today. Nick didn't answer the phone.
Nick is out for 3 weeks.
Oh, we're starting that experiment where pay me 60% I'm not there?
Yes.
See how that goes?
It's very confusing to me because at one point they stopped giving you paternity leave.
Well,
and
Hurley took it once. That worked out well.
Well, it's because his wives were famously breasts engorged with milk. That was the phrase that made it onto the airwaves when he was describing his wife's condition and why he needed to
It
be
sounds
home.
like that's out of a Jugs magazine from 1984.
Get out of here at 10, be home by 11. Like, what's he do all day?
He can take as much time as he wants. I honestly could not care less. But what I'm saying is that if I was his father, I'd be like, what the hell are you doing?
I'm so amused
You're only
by
making 60% of your
the male
paycheck.
paternity thing. It's amazing.
If they paid you for it, then
Well,
I'd
I
take
get
every day they took. If they gave you,
if you have twins, like,
well, no, but if they pay you your salary, then I would take as much
Yes.
as they would give me. I go, if you don't want to take care of the kid, go on vacation, do whatever the hell you want. It's the 60% of the salary that I don't understand.
what do you call it? Do you name it Giuseppe?
He doesn't even know what he's naming, and he's not Italian, by the way. That's all fraud.
You're kidding.
No, he's
He
Irish.
did a 23andMe.
It's true.
His father does the
Irish.
meatball.
He's Irish.
His dad does a meatball thing.
It's all been an elaborate pose.
It's a
I
fraud.
question the name Gemelli, as a matter of
I
fact.
kind of want to be Italian too, but I'm not.
Then you got something, Well, you're Polish.
Yeah, well, I'm
So that's
I'm
like a
Eastern
whole
European
thing.
mutt.
Okay.
Like, I'm a mixture of a lot.
See, my 23andMe was very boring. People find like sisters and brothers they didn't know they had. I'm a friend who found a sister in Hawaii, a real sister, like half sister.
That's pretty rare.
That's pretty rare. And then he's met her, and they were like equals. All right, Scott, a big show on the way for you today.
Yes.
All right, that'll do it for us. Everyone have a great day. Bye.
Talk to you tomorrow. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.